try Skin Place. Visit the website, select the skins you want to use. Easily fill your Steam trade link. Make sure we offer good prices and choose a payment method. Hit the button and boom, instant cash. Safety. Low commissions. Instant payouts. Skin Place.
What's a super stream game? It's an extension that provides a valuable and engaging game within the stream you are watching. Join an active community and test your knowledge in a live race against expert chasers by answering trivia, prediction, and recall questions tailored to the content you are watching.
Welcome back to CCT Europe Series 5. We are back. It is morning and it's time for some more Counter-Strike. I'm HazardJC, joined alongside Retro once again to take you through today's games and the final round of games that we have in our Swiss system before we move on to playoffs. Ryan, how are you feeling about what we've got coming up?
Good man. We are continuing the Sampi cause here in the group stage, Harry. You know, we were laughing at it between us earlier. We're 3 for 3 now on Sampi games being here on the CCT streams. They are playing against Illuminar today, of course, in the morning. We have Zero Tenacity versus Eyeballers later on, and then Space versus Rare Atom to round things out. So a day full of Counter-Strike. You want to miss it, of course. And for us, Harry, this is the round 5 games now, right? Not group 5, sorry. Which means 2 and 2 stage. If you concede, you're going to be out. If you win, you are going to be through. And it's interesting that we've got 2 teams here that were 2 and 0 in the group stage through the Swiss system. Both Sampi and Space went undefeated after 2 rounds, and now at risk of being eliminated 2-3.
Yeah, it is interesting looking at the standings, but again, it kind of reminds you of series gone by. Illuminar actually faced Sampi in the opening round of the previous Swiss system that we had in CCT Series 4, and when you look at Sampi's record, they made it out of Swiss last series from the 2-2 game after being up by 2 rounds again. So this is familiar territory for them. They know what it takes to win this kind of important fixture. However, for Illuminar, well, they went out 0-3 last time. They didn't get anywhere near as far. This new look version of the roster has had a little bit more time to get into its groove, and it's starting to deliver results, which should be worrying if you're Sampi. So to look over at the Illuminar side to start things off, Bilani was the newest face that had joined at that point in time when they played each other about a month ago now, but has sort of found his place amongst everything else. Furlan, PHR, Kadzu, and Ultimate, the ones to round it out.
Yeah, big fan of this roster. I think you've got some pretty nice talent on this team and good opportunity, I guess, for Illuminar to stretch their legs in Tier 2 a little bit more. Sampi the higher rank, but as you mentioned, you know, you've got Bielany there who has been a pretty hard hitter, come from the PG Turao team, same with Kadzu. PHR and Furlan have been in the Illuminar jersey for a little bit longer. Ultimate was an older addition to the old PG Turao roster. So you've got sort of Polish black backgrounds that have intertwined with one another. You know, got to face off against Sampi today, though, is going to be quite the difficult task. You can have a quick look at their roster. For us, Harry, we're well aware of this team, but for those at home, maybe not so much. You've got Mangus, Savannah, the Alive, Fino, and as you can see, Zedko's there, but not too sure if Verts is going to be playing today or Zedko. We'll get confirmation on that in a minute.
Yeah, so for those who watched the last two Sampi games that we had here, from their 2-0 to 2-2 run, probably for all of the wrong reasons. Zedko was absent in the first of those fixtures against Mal's NXT. Verts was subbing in from the Sampi Academy team. He was here last week, or the other day, right? I feel as if it's been weeks gone by in the amount of times we've seen these guys play. But no, he is the main component of this roster, or one of the main components. He's the player that you expect to see here, and hopefully for their sake he'll be playing as well.
Yeah, I think they need to be at full force today, because the mental Harry must not be in the greatest of positions. Imagine being 2-0, a couple of steps away from playoffs. You've got to think in their game against Mal's NXT as well. Those games were, 13-8, 13-9, and they were a map up, for goodness sake. They actually got a forfeit win in map 1, which means they were in such a good spot heading into that playoff stage, and then ultimately haven't made it yet. So they've got one more shot today. If they don't connect with it, they're out, and it's a pretty bitter feeling for them.
Yeah, and look, the difference between that and the Aurora Youngblood game, the more recent game, is that they were simply outclassed. Aurora Youngblood just looked like a much better team in that situation. And yes, both of these teams have actually played Aurora Youngblood as well. Something to mention is the fact that Illuminar are currently on a 5-match win streak. The last time they took a loss was against Aurora Youngblood. That was 6 days ago now. And a very close series as well. 11-13 when they were leading the half on Dust 2, 9-3, and then 16-19 on Inferno. So only a difference of 5 rounds between those two maps, with an overtime thrown in the mix as well. And since then they've picked up a few wins. They picked up 5 wins on the bounce. And not only that, you've got to be looking at the names that they're winning against here as well. Enterprise, a pretty prolific one within the sort of tier 2 fringe tier 3 circuit. Cybershock, Eyeballers, 3D Max, and VP Prodigy. 3D Max, the one that stands out to me the most there, as to be honest, I think they look like a pretty promising sign, pretty promising side in the last few weeks and months.
Yeah, I think for me, as you say, that 3D Max game is a massive win, right? You've got to think 3D Max at one point were pushing top 30 in the world. They still are in the top 30 in the world, Harry, which, what does that tell you? Well, you can't say you don't deserve the win. If you're beating them 2-1, clearly you're doing something right. And obviously that was in the Regional Clash Arena Europe 2024, so not exactly like the most important tournament, but a win there in the Swiss system will do wonders for the points in terms of HLTV ranking. One thing that we've got to talk about as well, Harry, is the maps that we're going to be playing. Technically, both teams play all 7 maps, but I have a feeling Nuke and Vertigo are still going to get banned out here, or at least that should be the case. Illuminar getting rid of that Nuke, as I was saying. For Sampi, yes, they are going to get rid of that Vertigo. For Illuminar's pick, Dust 2 is the obvious one. For Sampi, Inferno maybe. They opt for the Mirage instead. Now that is pretty interesting. I'll loop back to that in a second. Inferno Anubis going to get banned out. Ancient are Decider. And I am incredibly surprised Sampi didn't go for Inferno, because I thought, looking at percentages, yeah, sure, I get it. You're not exactly the best rated team when it comes to this map by any stretch, but at least on Inferno, if you're going to pick it, yeah, sure, maybe our map isn't amazing. Illuminar's is going to be worse. They're 1 for 6. Sampi have played it over double that, so I just thought, well, go for something that's comfortable that also could punish.
Yeah, the flip side is that we open up with Dust 2 as well. And like I said, it's the last map that we saw them lose in that Aurora Youngblood series, which they had, right? The last time they took a defeat. But at the same time, they're on a 4-map win streak here, Ryan. And again, that has appeared 4 times in the last 5 series that they've played. It's been so consistent for them. For 7 times total, they've got an 86% win percentage. It tells you pretty much everything you need to know. Then you go into map 2 of Mirage for Sampi. And well, we saw that the other day against Aurora Youngblood, and that team was a cut above. I'm not too sure what the thought process is here. You've even banned out Anubis right before you get to Ancient of the Decider, where Anubis is another map where, sure, Sampi looked good on it. I think the reason being is simply because Illuminar are that little bit better. Another win streak there on that one is the reason why we go to Ancient. But yeah, look, from the Sampi perspective, not looking fully convinced about this veto process.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say as well, right? Because obviously you start on Dust 2. Illuminar currently 7 out of 8 on that map, which is an incredible streak to hold. Or sorry, 6 out of 7, excuse me. But then after Dust 2, you then head on to Mirage, and it's like, well, okay, sure, it's Sampi's pick, but you've got to understand, you know, it's Illuminar that are no slouches in terms of wanting to play it either. They've played it 11 times in the last 3 months, sure. The win rate doesn't look amazing, Harry. You're not going to feel the most confident. But for Sampi's sake, you know, you've played it 30 times. That's a lot of demo reviewing you can do. And not to mention, the last 2 losses that Sampi took, they've got 7 rounds combined between the loss of Cybershock and Aurora Youngblood. So, again, it's not exactly like it's the biggest strength in the world for Sampi either. We'll see, just maybe, if they can hold on, though. Maybe a 3-mapper in the mix. I don't quite know, but should be an interesting one nonetheless.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you want to compare and contrast, Illuminar also beating Cybershock in the same place there makes a bit of a difference. We are at a slight delay due to one of the players having an issue, but hopefully this game will get underway sooner rather than later. And for now, I think we can just continue talking about the teams. Illuminar as well, I mean, something else to mention, again, the fact that last time they didn't make it out of Swiss. For Sampi, they did. It came down to the last game. In terms of raw experience, the gap between the teams in terms of ranking, I think, is important to mention. We've just seen a Monday come and go by, so changes have been made. Yeah. And Illuminar climbing into the top 100 for the first time since January this year. They obviously had Furlan and PHR on the team the last time that they were in that kind of position. For Sampi, they've sort of been hanging around the edge of the sort of top 60 for a while.
Yeah, and for Illuminar, right, as you say, they haven't crept into the top 100, and a big reason as to that is because up until 2 weeks ago, they were on a 9-game losing streak, and that's nearly spanned over 4 weeks, which is insane, to be honest with you, losing every official in basically a month. And in that time as well, Harry, they only won 2 maps, one off of Zero Tenacity, and then another off of Zero Tenacity, not even 3 weeks later. So, you know, it's understandable as to why the ranking looks so dire for them. Now that they've sort of cleaned up their game and they're willing to commit a little more, maybe have done a lot more in terms of practicing, you know, getting on the server, some offline, and just ironing out the small things, it does look like Illuminar stand half a chance in progressing out of, as you say, sort of that borderline between Tier 3 and Tier 2. Realistically, these CCT Swiss systems do consist of your middle to top of the pack Tier 2 teams. So it should be that Illuminar continue to creep up those rankings. And once this event ends and you get the event points rather than just match points, yeah, I expect them to shoot up even higher. Whether they can beat Sampi today, well, they're going to have to go against the tail of last time in CCT Europe Series 4. So last series that we had here, it was a 2-0. Mirage was played, not Dust 2 to be fair. It was Anubis, but it was 13-6 on Anubis and then 13-8 on Mirage. So quite the convincing performance from Sampi. The question is, can they do it twice and progress to the playoff stage, or will it be a reversal in roles? Illuminar with every opportunity and the favourites to head into the playoffs.
Kicking it off with Dust 2. That map which, as you said, was absent from the last time these two teams played one another. Since then, we've seen Illuminar make it their own home. Between them, a few other teams chasing playoffs here on the final day of Swiss. Starting off with Sampi getting aggressive. It is Zedko back in the lineup, here as we expected. Shoulder to shoulder with Fino, but a quick investigative mission comes up with 0 information. They back away.
And the nice thing is for Illuminar is you could tell they were expecting some sort of mid-push and some sort of gamble in the early round. They're quad stacked outside mid. Zedko jiggling the tunnels, Fino getting dinked up immediately. I think Ultimate's P250 found the shot, now already just swarming into that mid space, hoovering it up, and well, now decisions to make. Do we want to pivot short? Do we want to go down through tunnels into B? Do we want to just try and extend our legs through middle? There's plenty of choice right now. Zedko, 3 under his nose as he approaches short.
Ilani's the one that gets spotted towards upper though. Sampi being proactive in the mid-round. About a minute left, they were looking for the timing. Illuminar with no bodies now towards short, start to climb back up the Xbox, but it's towards a stacked A site where they begin to head. After that opening exchange with Fino drop low, you would have fancied them, but now it's Sampi in the driver's seat on this site defense. Players starting to come out towards Cat. PHR Gets splattered across the wall, but not after Furlan's found one. And in fact, Furlan continues on forward. Zedco is the next to drop. It makes for a 3-on-3. And Illuminar are rolling with the punches. Ultimate. Two fantastic headshots. Now Furlan's got to get himself out of dodge and see if they can't play this one together, because the Alive is in a 1 versus 2. USP looking for a fight. He'll get it round the corner. Furlan dispatched. 1 versus 1. Even standing. But time starts to now play against him. No kit on the CT player, so he does have to hunt down Ultimate, who tucks away in the corner with a P250, but finds himself painted against the wall. The Alive onto the 10-second timer. It's going to be close here, Ryan, but I think Sampi have just about taken the pistol.
Yeah, they have done so. About a second, 2 seconds left on it. The Alive with a 1v3 to kick off the standings here on Dust 2. And to be honest, that's just really poor from Illuminar. I think in the post plant, you've got to play with a little more togetherness, Harry. We saw that's 3 individual fights offered up to the Alive. You can't blame Ultimate. He was the one that was passive, playing for the timer, the bomb ticking down. And instead, they just offer 2 free fights. He's forced to swing, forced to take the shot. And, well, there you have it. Sampi with a pistol, but it does come with a bomb plant. Hence why the force by heading into the second.
Early utility coming out. HE with a molly at their feet. Furlan still continuing to find success. The Alive gets ran down. Mangus with a trade. So to kick things off, both teams are man down. In terms of utility, well, Illuminar may head out of long, but they already used a couple flashes and a smoke to try and get out of that space. You've only got one of those left, and yeah, the smoke to go with it.
Scout shots firing off. Fino still having a jiggle towards middle. It's a back and forth between himself and BL&E. Someone's got to connect. The scout on short will do. Tag towards the top mid position will give some leeway back in. Mangus with 2, but Furlan holds on. Low HP for both. And the bomb drop now on short leaves just BL&E left. And, well, Harry, it could have been something great out of this round. A response from Illuminar. Instead, it's going to be done the difficult way through the corner of the box. 1v1.
Savannah does have Kevlar here, so BL&E needs to connect the headshot with the A1S. He's on death's door here already. Savannah knows where the bomb is just looking for a chance to peek his head out, and there we go. Simple enough for Sampi to convert their second. Force by not working out here for the Polish squad.
A shame. A real big shame. So much damage done to the CT side though, so they know despite this one being an eco, Harry, the gun buy, still going to be a wobbly one for that of Sampi. I mean, sure, it looks good for them here. 3 M4s and 2 MP9s against P250s, Deagles, Tech 9s. It's nothing serious from Illuminar.
Yeah, no nades either. So in terms of cutting up this defense, it's going to be pretty difficult. Sampi already using a lot of that early util towards A. Again, Illuminar invested it in the opening, so 10 seconds or so to get themselves out, but when they had nothing left and they had to recommit, I think that's where the force fell short. Oh, the timing there is gorgeous. 4 players up short already. And if you look at Fino's position, as he moves closer towards long side, well, he's the only one here. I think there's a real argument to be made in forcing a bomb plant if you can manage to get it across Cat. You've got to beat Fino first. He does take down the head of the snake. Furlan the first to go, but a headshot traded means that, yeah, I think Illuminar are going to be able to get this one down no trouble.
Yeah, it won't be a round win, or at least it shouldn't be, Harry, but at least a bit of extra cash won't hurt anyone. Up short, 3 CTs, 2 kills already. Flood the feed. Nice shot from Kadziu, but it's quickly neutralized. Life is good. Sampi will find the third. But, you know, all the same to Illuminar. The bomb plant is what they were looking for, and that they get.
Yeah, I think it'll be nice, right? Extra $400, $300 in the back pocket. an extra nade here and there, like I said, you know, in terms of making their opening on the previous round. Did struggle a little bit, but now should have the full buy. That's when Ultimate is reconnected. Should be sorted in just a second. We do have an interesting timeout here, actually, Ryan. I don't know if you've seen or if we're to divulge the information. Savannah has to pause for just a minute. A package has been delivered to his door. Any guesses on what we think that might be?
Oh, it's
Tuesday Amazon delivery, right?
Yeah,
what are you getting?
I reckon it's like a home appliance or something. You know.
You reckon? You bought anything interesting recently off the marketplace?
No, I've not actually.
I can tell you the last 3 items that I bought.
Go on.
You'll never guess this. A blonde wig, some novelty fake mustaches,
Okay.
and a pair of clear lens black rimmed glasses.
Okay.
So
let me have a look at my Amazon real quick.
signing in. You know, just ever the comedian, putting together a
little
little literal comic villain disguise Amazon wish list. Oh, also a pair of slippers and some Cheetos. So I do really buy the most random things. And for yourself?
I will be honest. You know, just throwing it out there. We share an account, my family, because you know, we're not paying for like 3 lots of Prime.
You got to throw them under the bus instead.
Get a grip. No, I'm just scrolling down. I think the last thing genuinely that I bought off of Amazon was hand warmers.
Okay, fair enough. An aspiring esports pro, perhaps?
No, I'm terrible, but my hands were cold, so...
Well, I appreciate it. You're the one that said it, not me. Illuminar up mid nice and early. There's not really been a challenge here from Sampi again towards A-Long, but this time even more heavy. Bomb is on the back of PHR. And they've left Bielini towards upper tunnels. So I was just seeing what he can get done. Flash thrown over the top, and it's also drawn Zedko a little further back out of mid. So there's a big gap there at the moment. Fino's AWP is the most pressing issue when you consider the A push, though.
Silent turn taken for this one. Less than a minute left to go, but the approach towards short duly noted. 2 smokes, which means Fino's line of sight blocked. Molotov to his feet, gonna have to put it out with a smoke of his own, gives him space to peek behind it as well.
Oh, nice.
This is scary. Illuminar could be into the guillotine, but the bomb's out middle.
Yeah, no, they've dropped a smoke towards short, and then you see as well, dropped underneath it is Furlan in towards CT spawn. The push from tunnels now activated. Bielini making inroads towards the site with the rest of Illuminar and finding all of the kills with it as well. Brilliant double from PHR. Alive known about, and the Glock's more than enough to take him down. So a very well called round. Pressure put on towards A, a quick twist of the shoulder, and the B take left no crumbs.
At least Illuminar put pen to paper finally. Really nicely done. Very well collected. Oh, that's a bit of a misplay because that means only one man's fighting long. I was going to say, he's got to be careful here. Dead is Mangus. So a communication error has cost them the entirety of this long space. Sure, Zedko lives to tell the tale behind it, but bullets whizzing by, some tag damage done. And eventually removed. So already Sampi removed from the equation in this one. Should be a second, and well, money not in a good place for Sampi to be losing rounds like this.
No. 2 remaining CTs, the alive Savannah shall be planting their feet on the B side of the map. But look, even if they decide to walk through tunnels here, for example, again you've got Bielini just waiting there to pick up any pieces. It would be the alive in this situation. He's clearing towards tunnels, but I think if you're Sampi, there's probably also no reason to step any further out here because you know that the site is realistically the only safe part of the map that you have at this point in time. Question on my mind is, does BL move any closer? Because if he does lose this AK, it's an upgrade for the CTs. Not really too much argument to be made of a buy on the next. And yeah, with that, Illuminar, a real great opportunity now for them to tie up the scoreline. BL is going to take this fight. And Alive not holding. Nice readjustment. Okay. So, removes him from play, but doesn't actually pick up the gun to go with it.
What's more impressive is the fact that 4 people survive here for Illuminar, so starting to build bridges financially. Taking the A1S over the AK. Most people would think a silly choice, but when you know this one's going to be an eco and the next one, you know, is only double loss, the double loss investment, excuse me, half armor is probably going to be more appreciated for the CT side. It's a cheap cut around to get some extra utility, so having an A1S is either going to force Sampi's hand to buy full head Kevlar, or that man's going to be able to one-tap just as good as the AKs.
Well, you also got to be thinking about how much they were spamming through this smoke towards long on the previous round. No traces this time for them, but the same can be said for the Alive. A quick double out of him. 3 on 2. And Illuminar. Yeah, the scoreline has reflected the same as the man count here. However, you know, it was Sampi which came into the round with the advantage. Looked like they were trying to make a quick diversion towards short. See if anything could be said of this push. Maybe even fake out towards mid with the smoke. But the bomb and Furlan have gone separate ways. Wondering what the idea is here. Nice shot from Ultimate. Oh, it's played in Furlan, who's gone through his own smoke again. And instead of dive bombing off Cat this time, he takes a different approach with a smoke dropped behind Savannah. A difficult situation to try and recover. It would need to be another clutch from the Slovak here if Sampi are to survive another round.
Fight for long as well. Pete's in, but the flashes are just a delay. Ultimate's now scooped up the AWP, and they're both barreling it towards the big pit. I mean, Savannah's jump spot, and he's like, hold on a minute. If they actually both left sight, a smoke is going to pay dividends in a round like this, but a spam through it means Ultimate blocks him out with the AWP and gives him no chance of winning the round. Illuminar able to get another.
Yeah, nice round from Illuminar. And again, I'm really enjoying this variation of how they're taking mid-space on the A execute. Whether it's, again, like I said, Furlan going over the top and into a B play instead, or if they are fully making use of that short space, and if he's, you know, coming in from mid-side instead. So nicely played the way that they've sort of utilized short so far. Ultimate missed shot through the double doors. Trying to play off that mental timing. Not quite checking out since Dusty was last in the pool. But again, like we said, 4-map win streak. They've had plenty of time. Savannah, headshot, Shroud barrel, seeing if he can't find a player walking out, but nobody pushes just yet. Spots ahead over the top of the big box and replenishes the smoke before Illuminar throw out any more of their own. Yeah, these waterfall smokes are crazy, by the way. The fact you can throw one on top of the frame of the double doors, I guess, and it gets the whole thing is insane.
What's incredible is how heavy the smoke must be.
Oh, he's burning alive here still. Zed go through the smoke too far in front of him. Didn't extinguish the molly. So that's a cheap opening pick. Yeah, VHR is low. But they've just deposited him towards A short, and the rest of the push will now be coming in towards B.
Yeah, he's got to make some noise here, though, PHR. No utility to do so, so being a bit vocal with stepping and stuff would be nice. Now the execute coming in towards B. Just got to delay the rotates. An imminent push from Illuminar. How many can Sampi get on the uptake? The Alive was one through the smoke. A second from Mangus through it. All of a sudden, looking strong here. 10 seconds to plant the bomb. Nearly a third as well.
Another round where Sampi are able to find something out of nothing. These advantages are ridiculous. So many spam kills. PHR is null and void here. out of contention to try and save the round. And yeah, I think, like you put it, it's difficult in that situation because on 33 points of health, it's got to be all bark and no bite, really. Or at least if you are going to be biting, you've got to take your timing while nobody's looking. Not with too much more intent than what we saw on the previous, but actually, looking at it, Kazu elsewhere, they will just be running straight into the B site, but finding both of the picks. So an even trade and a luck set up.
Bomb down. Kazu is the second prong on this defense. He seems to have a rough idea, Harry, that someone's going to be in and about in middle, but don't know if that's going to be the case. And the longer they spend clearing, it's less time to retake. Kazu will activate, and it's the Pac-Man removed. Fino gone. Orp a second. PHR closes. Illuminar back to business.
Yeah, a little bit surprised that Sampi actually decided to commit to that retake in the end. Kazu's kill, the finishing blow. And it was such a quick execute from Illuminar, and then just keeping one player towards middle there. Smart call in hindsight, with the fact that they were able to trade out on those opening picks. AWP in mid. Just slightly shoulder block there. Not sure if it was going to get any more information. There are 4 CTs making the cross. Wonder if they're maybe trying to fake out some kind of a rotation so Illuminar commit to a site that would be stacked. But yeah, they're well out of
Play here to make any real difference. Smart utility from Illuminar just to open up this site. But behind their own smoke, those forces are continuing to gather. It's a touchdown onto Zedco. There's plenty more where that came from, and they were boosting over the top for a second, so Illuminar will know all about this now. Yeah, in fact, it is a double boost in the end, and a triple kill for Kazu.
Illuminar in front, 5-4. Nicely done. Another rifle buy for Sampi, hoping that they can put their foot through the door once more. I'm not massively convinced right now. Back and forth has cost them a fair bit. Mangus going to try and take long. The Molotov now going to be smoked. Unfortunately for Mangus. He's dead through the smoke. I was going to say that there's a player on the right, but that doesn't even matter. Bielini's found Zedco. Mangus gets caught in the corner. And already a 5v3.
Yeah, the story of the first half, smokes and mirrors. Kills through it. And Illuminar able to lift the veil over Sampi a couple of times in terms of their strategic approach to this T side. Bielini, well, just decides to swap places in the smoke with the Alive. Won't be making that full committal to the play as it looks like this one's about to fade. As it does, there's a lot of work that he's got to try and do. Fino through short, supportive angle, Bielini gone.
Following Kazu yet to make the cross, but that's where the Alive starts to poke away.
Another kill without visual. Someone turn off the X-ray. What on earth is going on here? PHR does kill the flank, so numbers Illuminar, but they don't have those bodies on site. It's between Kazu and Ultimate to try and figure this one out, and it looks as if they've got the answer.
Kazu, another multi-frag on the rounds to give Illuminar the advantage.
It could be a big one as well, because financially, Sampi have to take a miss. Could be up to 7, what a shot from Fino, but yeah, disappointing to be honest. 3v3, a real turning point was here. The Alive solo pushing the smoke like that. Crazy. Your teammate's not aggressing short. Your other, your other man's dead now. What's the point? What is the necessity in rushing that? I don't know. Nonetheless, 2 more to go in this half. A missed B smoke by the looks of things, and well, a lower push. At least there's a trade. A second from Mangus, in fact.
Ooh. Yeah, Mangus has been on it so far. Another double kill from him. Makes things look a little bit worrying. An AK changes hands. Fino the one holding on to it. And the bomb is all the way back towards the platform in spawn. Fortunately, Furlan has already started to excavate the A site, so I think sooner rather than later, Illuminar should be getting the call that this one's clear, but he's got to go all the way round towards long before they feel the comfort in pushing through double doors and towards pit here. In that amount of time, Sampi can already get out from CT and stop the cross. Driven a wedge right in the middle. Furlan has to be careful, but Fino boosts right into him, and it is an easy enough collection for the pole. Mangus another. Okay, it's cut short. The AK does return to their hands, but everyone on Sampi is low.
Smoke on the cross, but it's a terrible one, but it's one that Mangus can't punish. And it looks good. Player on site should have been good for more than one, but maybe it won't matter. Bomb plant is imminent. 4 flashbangs between the 2 remaining players. Ultimate finds one with his AWP. An AK shot for Savannah collected on the headshot position. Bomb is planted in the open. Ultimate will park it up towards long. He knows that the AWP can hold the cross. He knows he can just play smart and play for the round, but a baited shot means a repeat required, but Ultimate will not miss the second strike. Illuminar will claim another.
Yeah, nice little micro flick there at the end. Long range can be hard to hit. Savannah making sure that he's as mobile as possible because, like you say, low HP on everyone there for Sampi. Max loss bonus coming into the final round. The AUG comes out for the first time in a while. I have to say, I think when CS2 first came out, everyone thought that we were heading towards a scope weapon meta. Not really seen it. Nice damage, though, onto Savannah. So what more that he can possibly get out of this gun? I'm not too sure.
Org. Oh, it could have been good for more. Savannah trying to poke holes in the B-Hall's push instead. A smoke up. The Alive notorious for finding kills through this. This time, unfortunately, will cough up short.
Someone take cover, please. Don't allow him to do it to you. He's going to push this one anyway. There's a flash right over the top. Ultimate does have the flank held, but how much left of this sight hold is going to exist? Just enough, it seems. PHR will continue to carry the bomb. This molly over the top can flush out Zedko. May even be forced to peek into the AWP here as well. Ultimate drops a smoke instead. Zedko choosing to disrespect it. PHR not all too aware, but able to correct himself in the end. So with that, Illuminar, a pretty convincing first half that we see from them as the Poles are looking for playoffs. They're only a few rounds away from a first WAP min. WAP min? Map win.
It's alright, man. It's the morning game. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Not plenty of time to scratch your eyes and wake up to the world.
Something in the Weetabix.
You're a Weetabix enjoyer, is that what you're telling me?
The mini ones. Yeah. The mini
Fair.
ones.
I'm
We
actually
don't
not-
have any of the regular size ones. See?
I'm not-
You know, I'm a small man.
Yeah.
Right, and everything in my house is micro.
I'm not much of a breakfast man. I know that's crazy to say. Like I can eat cereal, don't get me wrong, but it's not. I don't wake up every day and crave the bowl of Cocoa
I don't
Puffs
know,
or
man.
whatever, you know, it's
3 meals a day. Why not? I think, you know, I woke up this morning, I was thinking, I could have something a little bigger, maybe some toast, but no, I've gone with cereal, and I'm committing to having all 3 meals, so there will be a lunch, there will be a dinner, but for now, it starts with the first meal of the second half, the pistol round. Just something small, an appetizer, if you will. Sampi taking this in all kinds of different directions right now. You have managed to put Fino out towards A long, and in fact, he's even holding the CT cross. This could be damaging. There's already some dealt on towards PHR. He's had to fall back onto the B site. It is going to be a split through upper with Fino as the backstab. How much can this push really do? Straight over the top into the corner. PHR nailed to the wall. Savannah finding 2 kills. 2 fantastic kills at that. But Kevlar opponent already hot in pursuit. BLNE right on it. Stuck trying to move around the default spot here is Mangus, and he's as good as dead. So pistol round for Illuminar. Nice quick conversion. And no bomb plant either, so no force expected.
What the hell is BLNE doing on site there in the 2v1? Just leaping around, turning his back, like reloading his gun. Quite literally, opponents square in front of him. But I guess the distraction is enough to ensure the swing is a safe one. Pistol goes their way, up to 9 now. Eco, as you say here, for the T side. Didn't expect the force, should make it 10. From there, I mean, what do you do? It's going to be an intricate one for Sampi. Going to need to really put pen to paper in the start of this second half. As soon as you get those rifles out, it's be constant success. Illuminar threatening a map win already.
MP9 will continue to pose that threat. Shadow spotted. Absolutely no illusions over ultimate. Wasn't going to fall for any kind of jump or crazy swing. The bait was just insufficient, as the Glocks may prove to be here as well. Sure, the Alive gets one. That's all he's got to take home. Illuminar have this one wrapped up in a gift bag. Double digits already. Only 3 more now for them to finish off their pick. And to be honest, Ryan, with Ultimate already bringing out this early AWP, you shut down the rifles here. Shouldn't be money for Sampi in the next, or at least if you do, are going to be pieces missing. Head pieces, I should say, up against M4s. This is looking like a last chance already in my eyes. Such a key round to pick up here.
Peek in, nice from Ultimate. The Alive getting caught in the transition from left to right side of mid. Molotov towards close, forcing Zedco back up now, just trained on this angle. PHR here up close, playing the bait and switch. A retake towards A here for Illuminar, putting nobody in a crossfire on long. Instead, it's just players on sites, and PHR getting an upgrade to an AK. That's concerning.
Really nicely played. And Ultimate's AWP still alive here, blinded up, but still able to find Savannah before the flash pops, and making it a hat-trick in the end to push Illuminar up to an 11th round. And look, the writing was on the wall, Ryan. Sampi failing to convert that one puts them in a whole host of trouble now. Nice opening pick. The setup was there on the angle. When the smoke goes down, PHR chooses to play around it solo instead. And yeah, Sampi not really doing too much themselves to make that one look all too difficult in terms of, utility approach setup. This time it's going to be a simple matchmaking strat. Tech9 push right out the mouth of B, but into 2 sets of flames with a HE dumped on top. They are burning to a crisp. Illuminar sitting there fanning the flames and watching Sampi go up in smoke. 12 rounds, map point.
That's scary. They did 27 damage against the gun by 72 on pistols between all 5. Sampi have looked vacant in this second half, and as you say, a quick second half maybe. Illuminar on map point. One more to go. I'd say Dust 2 was going to be the strong point for Illuminar for this BO3. Admittedly, their selection, but 12-4 strong. Quite the concern.
In terms of how this round begins, it is Ultimate's AWP again, but the flash has not caught him this time, and trying to escape, but actually given up by the weapon on his back, poking over the top. Manga shot through the lip of the wall. Sampi off to a better start. PHR's low here as well with BLNE in support. Should be a simple pick, and in fact Zedco makes it look even more difficult by taking the head off. Only BLNE remains. Katsu looking over the top of the smoke, but Zedco and Mangus have already crossed it. There's a flank coming up behind him. Illuminar really in a sticky situation here. Sampi finding the kills that they're needing to open up both ends of the map, but it is ultimately Fino that Katsu walks back into to finish things off, so they will survive for another Sampi.
Decent win. Few players surviving. I think for 2 individuals that we sing highly of for this side, the fact that they've got 9 kills between them, Fino and Zedco, not pretty. Not pretty at all. I mean, Fino's got 7 of them, so it tells you how poor the Zedco performance has been here on Dust 2.
Yeah, it's probably not making you feel all too bad about Vertz's absence, if you even want to call it that, when this is literally the main roster. All we saw was a sub last time around. Sampi will try and carry on here a little bit longer. They're on a limited lifespan, but Savannah and Mangus trying to extend it. 5 versus 3. And the shame is, as soon as Sampi look like they've got a read of the game plan, that this T side does have some legs to it. You're already down by a matter of 6, 7 rounds. Or 7 or 8, I should say. It stretches further in the opposite direction until the previous, when we finally started to see some signs of life.
Well, at least they've gambled right.
Yeah, it'll be 6 rounds now.
Supplementary utility, of course. They were quite concerned that maybe there was a stack up in players towards this side of the map. No worry at all. Smoke across towards doors. Loop across, bomb plant, molly towards the window. Illuminar should just transition into a save here. No problems at all. But still, struggling to get that 13th. Just the final round required.
Yeah, I think it's just going to come down to a round where they're able to convert the opening pick. I mean, Fino going down here is massive. AWP lost. I think Savannah with lost bonus bomb plant might just have enough to repurchase this, and maybe Sampi are even going to retake it from the ground towards spawn. I think that will be the idea, right? Killed on a headshot angle. Shouldn't be an issue. Even flashing in support to make sure Mangus can reclaim it. But as I was saying, still an ultimate on the Illuminar side, an AWP in Ultimate's hands on the Illuminar side, sorry. No ultimates in this game. And a set of rifles and good utility. So I think, look, maybe a little more cautious on the opening duels. Find a way to make it work. Because ultimately it's these sight holds when Sampi are pushing against even numbers that Illuminar were finding success. Just force it to happen a little bit ahead of schedule.
To go. That's all Illuminar need. Close this one out. Make it in style as well. Be quite the convincing scoreline, wouldn't it? 13-6. A damage already pretty good. Mangus tagged up. A push coming in. Ultimate or on the angle. The HG has done massive damage, but 2 kills. Snap back for Zedco. B push denied. 3v3. This is one winnable round. The nade landing at the feet of Fino. It's the bomb denied. And now it's Illuminar that hold the numbers.
Yeah, Illuminar knowing that there was no extra control towards long. They've still got Kantu there, so all of the nades can be tailored towards the short push. The A1S are the guns for the situation now, not that AWP once the rest of Sampi have been softened up. It's Furlan to put on the finishing touches. Illuminar
finishing this one out in convincing fashion in the end. You can see the scorecard there. Ultimate with a 3 KD, 21 and 7. A standout performer from the sniper. And like you say, I mean, the fact that Sampi only takes 6 rounds at the end of this one is going to be feeling good if you're Illuminar heading into map number 2.
Yeah, definitely. I know it's not your best map in terms of percentages, Harry. It's Mirage that's next. It's not a great one for the Illuminar side, but you can't exactly say it's amazing for Sampi either. You know, they're currently 13 out of 30 on the map, right? So it's a 43% win rate. You're currently on a 4-game loss streak. The momentum side of things probably not going to look the best, but they'll be given a little bit of time to turn things around.
Yeah, they will, and I think they need that time as well, because you look again at what the story's been for this Sampi team, the fact that they were up 2-0, that they had a forfeit win, that they were only a single map away from closing out and being in the playoff stage already comfortably against a strong Mouse NXT side, all things considered, but they haven't actually won a map officially since then, other than the ones that they've been gifted.
You could say. So now you find yourself in the 2-2 game again, as they were in the previous series of CCT. However, this time, you're a map down. The last time they did it, it was a 2-0. It was simple enough. They got through and they were against a subpar team. However, Illuminar, on the win streak that they have, the form that they're in, and with performances like that out of a player such as Ultimate, you have to be seriously concerned about what you can do now. I mean, even as well, Kazu there, it's not even part of the main roster. It's Anira X, which is usually on this team. You're not playing with your full strength 5 if you're Illuminar. I thought it was Sampi the ones with the sub. Like, what's going on? It's a complete role reversal. Work needs to be done if there's any chances of them reversing this result. We're going to head to a quick break, but when we return, we have map number 2 of Mirage up for you. having taken their own selection of Dust 2, look in prime position to be making playoffs, Ryan.
Yeah, and it's quite scary because you touched on it just before the break. It really was the ultimate show. Plus 14, went 21-7 with a 1.88 rating. You have a look at Sampi, everyone in the red. No one could put up a positive result. And, you know, that's not to say that that's signs of weakness heading into Mirage, because it is their pick at the end of the day. And, you know, being on home territory in a BO3 is always a little bit nicer. Going second as well gives you that opportunity to come back into a game and give good strides into a third map. But, you know, we were touching on the fact that heading into this, you know, Illuminar have greatly increased their chances of qualifying to the playoff stage, taking that map. Sampi, not probably in the best space, motivationally speaking. As I said, they're on a 4-game losing streak. We head on to Mirage, which is a map that hasn't been the most successful for them. They're currently on a 2-loss streak, and between those 2 recent losses, they've only put up 7 rounds. I'm quite concerned, to be honest with you, for Sampi, because we saw it in that Aurora Youngblood game. It was Sampi's pick. They lost 13-3 as that second map in that series. Mouse and XT, yeah, they played it against them there, or at least wanted to. Unfortunately, it slipped through. Just couldn't play it out because it was the you know, it was the first map of the lot. Cybershock before that, they didn't play Mirage, but we did see Dust 2, and Sampi won 13-8, and it was like, well, look, even when there was positives in those losses, you know, the map wins, it directly contradicts what we've just seen on our screens here, and it's like, well, heading into this second map, what is there to believe in this Sampi side? I want to give belief. I want to see 3 maps. I want to see Sampi stand a chance, because, as you said, they've been on a pretty tough streak of losses from 2-0 to 2-2 now. I want to see them be able to put up a result and make that playoff stage. But right now, you know, there's no belief because of what we just seen on Dust 2. And even looking at Mirage itself, statistically, Sampi haven't done well as of recent.
Yeah, Sampi on a 5-map loss streak in their sort of 3-game loss streak in and of itself. If we go to Ancient, I think, you know, it's a big if here as well. Can we see an improvement in terms of performance? I really don't know. It just does start with Mirage. It starts and ends, ultimately, against Illuminar here. And it could be through that man, you know, no pun intended, ultimate to finish them off. I think Illuminar have looked really good. The players that they've got here, sure, you know, they had a little bit more time since the last opportunity we saw them play each other to, you know, fit into this roster and make it make a little bit more sense. Another callback to make is that Sampi won the previous meeting between these two teams. It was another 2-0. But again, this is a stat which counts for nothing because they held that same advantage over both Mouse NXT and Aurora Youngblood coming into those rematches. Again, all happening about a month later since they faced each of those teams last. It's the same result. They can't effectively find a way to win out. And yeah, also on the new map pool, I think Dust 2 just hasn't looked great for them either. It's not been an addition. The removal of Overpass has been a net negative more than anything else.
Yes, there is a slight technical issue, but we are jumping into the action shortly, so, you know, hold on to that one. Harry, I was just having a quick gander as well. You know, not that I'm a massive lover of the HLTV comment section. Sometimes it is a good read, though.
Sure.
And I was interested to know, you know, like with the changes, if anyone actually had any opinions when it came to, you know, Verts or Zedco. And a lot of people were saying, you know, on HLTV originally it was listed as Verts. We did make that assumption earlier on. And a lot of people are saying, despite that, they still think Illuminar are going to walk away with this 1-2-0. And to be honest with you, I can't not disagree. I think for me, it's like Mirage is one of those where, sure, Sampi might be their pick, might be their chance to get back into this game, but you can't argue with the straight-up facts, and that is that Sampi have been on a massive downturn in form. There is little to no wiggle room now. Your back's against the wall. It's either playoffs or go home. And now for them, their playoffs run has to come in back-to-back map wins on both Mirage, then on Ancient.
Yeah, I mean, look, you can see the schedule for the rest of the day as well, just to take a brief moment while we have time to speak of it. Zero Tenacity, Eyeballers, Space, Rare Atom, the other 4 teams that are all looking towards trying to make playoffs. Ryan, out of these host of names that we've got, any that immediately you think should be looking in?
Zero Tenacity certainly should be. I'd like to see Rare Atom make a playoffs, to be honest with you. I'd really like to see them push forward and put on a show for us in a more tier 2 contained environment, but we'll see. Anyway, pistol round underway live in our second map. Harry, Illuminar take to the CT side first.
Yeah, Sampi T side. Not without its issues, but I don't think we really got to see all too much of it in the previous. Nice shot from PHR to open things up, though. From the underpass, he will detract his position. Furlan getting taken out in the process, and Mangus there on the trade. So 3 versus 3. There was no presence towards apartments, so there was a chance there that PHR gets away with it entirely, but they have managed to. Player Bialani goes down. Fino getting found by Ultimate on the way back through, though. And, well, Illuminar giving up quite a few kills here solo. Engagements that maybe they had been better suited not to. And it's another opening pistol round for Sampi off the back of it. So managing to find those engagements in ways that suited them best and locking it in for a first.
Yeah, it's a sad round to lose for Illuminar because they did actually go 5v4 and 4v3. Problem is that short player spotting the con push, Palace swings. No way. There is a retraction of control from jungle. Illuminar, they were forced though heading into a second round, which is a bold move, Harry, in the early stages of this second map.
Yeah, again, it could make all the difference. We've seen it in these Sampi games before, right? They take pistol, maybe they lose second round. And to lose it against the CT force as well, I think with no bomb plant, is the context which Illuminar really require to find liftoff here early. They don't want to be digging their own grave. And part of that does come through finance. Push through connector again. Bialani the only one really in a position of threat at this point in time, but you have to be looking at Furlan's advanced position in Palace early. The fact that they've managed to station him up here, again, with Sampi with no presence anywhere else on the map, probably has to be most concerning. It is going to be a retake, but if Furlan can get anything done, it would be huge. He has just completely thrown that one away. Okay, never mind. Sampi taking this round pretty comfortably now, I would think.
Yeah, in all honesty, I think this should just be a save. No one should be fighting here from the CT side. At least recycle these weapons into the next round. No need to overextend already. Bialani thinking he could be the hero instead. Some tag damage and nothing more. Zedco at half, but all the same for the T side, as you say. For Sampi, no contesting of the A site. Nice shot from Alter. Could maybe make an upgrade. We'll see. It's going to be the case shortly. Nonetheless, the bomb goes off, and it is all the same for Sampi.
Yeah, the next closest player to market to push through into that scout is the Alive, and he's also within range. So, yeah, Sampi are going to be saving. A little bit frustrating for Illuminar on that force. Fino also going down. They want to throw this AK over to the Alive, and he will get it, so the rifles do survive. Yeah, I mean, Furlan has this amazing position, and then he's trying to throw nades out when, you know, they had the player jungle. You've got 3 bodies on the B site. He's best off hearing it before seeing it coming. I don't know. Still, clutching at straws. They do have weapons here. Can this effective second force in a row do any damage against what is now a full set of AKs?
Flashes are in, plenty of them, in fact. Mid-space consumed by the Sampi attack. Got 5 rifles here. As I said, Illuminar save whatever they can, and this round, I mean, albeit looks like a half buy, but it is just a full eco from them, saving whatever they could. Kadziu finding that early kill, 5v4, concerning, because he's got away with the AK as well. It's Sampi, they're going to have to work with a numbers disadvantage. The peak, oh, it should be punished, and it will.
And now the collapse on B will come through. The Alive was there in apartments. A little bit split up from his teammate. Not in a position to actually assist and trade the kill immediately. But Kadziu's now gone and PHR with it. So the B hold lost. Ultimate still with the scout. But honestly, with the idea that they have money in the next tier, Illuminar, you're probably just looking to create a little bit of damage. A run into it. Bialani on the flank. Yet to register a kill so far, so a quick one for confidence wouldn't be an issue. Just about misses out on the alive. So Sampi already building up a lead here nice and early. Promising signs for them coming into a map where, yes, it's their pick, but the track record hasn't helped. A third in a row with 3 bomb plants. Life is looking good.
Oh, Ollie, PHR. Forced to take fight. Setco, oh my god, I hate how uncomfortable that was to watch. But backs into the smoke just in time. Ollie towards under. Furlan drops the smoke, gives himself a bit of space. Mangus taking a bit of damage. The nade blows open the fumes. Savannah entry kill.
Yeah, there's been some brilliant utility usage here from Sampi in the start of this round. Shutting out any kind of CT aggression towards middle. And managing to confirm that kill towards Dark as well. But the round is not done yet because they're starting to lose players. Bialani still alive towards Spawn. AWP in play will have him checked towards Ticket Booth. The CTs can flood behind their own smoke now as well. 4 versus 2. How on earth the dust has settled in this situation, I have no idea. And they're even going to attempt to boost over the top as well, which Fino has absolutely no idea around. This is textbook from Illuminar. After losing that first player on A, they have not put a foot wrong. And Zedco may not even get a chance to make amends here as the AK is already walking out of sight.
There should be a chance.
Nice shot, Billy. Be surprised to find a little bit more here, though, and you can even see PHR all the way back on short, holding the cross. So even if Ultimate does go down, you have Kadzu and Ticket late, maybe even a little earlier. Zedco is out of this. There was no chance there. But again, I mean, it just comes down to the start of the round. It felt like Sampi had put every single protective measure in place, but the bomb never went down. And Illuminar find every single kill from that point onwards.
Really, really clean. I love the boost as well. Illuminar back in business. Not a bad spot to be in. Sure, you lose the pistol. Second force round didn't go quite so well. Eco afterwards was a bit of damage, and you can see already financially Sampi on their last limbs before having to declare temporary bankruptcy.
It's
Right
crazy.
towards Palace. I like that peak. Ultimate just controlling towards ramp. Happy to give up middle. And that's just to barter a bit more space on the bomb sites.
I mean, yeah, just such a convincing 4th round. Into the 5th. Success has to be consistent for Illuminar, and well, that's not an issue whatsoever. PHR, another one, looking through connector. Here's the boost, finds Mangus. I'm not sure if he knows that Zedco hopped up on his shoulders before, though. One final parting gift given. Furlan, finger on the pulse, an easy takedown. Bomb carrier alive is estranged from all the rest. He doesn't know where to look. And it's only Savannah left in apartments. Ryan, Sampi are falling apart at the seams again.
That's not ideal. I mean, it's one thing to lose this gunfight. It's another that it could be flawlessly done. At least Savannah will do a bit of damage. The hold off from shorts. Furlan giving away too much. Now a 1v3 for Savannah. A little more stomachable. Had he have had the bomb in his back pocket, and a plant towards B is a lot more viable to force the CTs into his crosshair. But now they realise, look, we've taken too many hits to our own economy. Time for us to back up, play smart, play passive, play slow. Savannah will approach short, but there's no chance he wins this one under the watchful eye of PHR.
Savannah bomb on his back may have been a different story. Ultimate's already fallen into place. And has the angle held should he choose to approach. Bench is where he'll save, Ryan. The AK is going to be kept here for Sampi, but it's minimal returns on yet another gun buy. Illuminar have looked so damn good in these last couple. And, well, this one, really, I think is just quite a few unforced errors. Sampi not checking, not expecting Illuminar to be taking these peaks in confidence, but of course they're going to. You look at the performance on map number 1, heading into their opponent's pick. Finally, we get a tactical pause just to stem the bleeding a little bit.
Yeah, I like the idea of this tack. I think for Sampi, you know you're going to be on an eco here. You got one rogue rifle. Savannah actually puts himself in a terrible position by saving the gun. Obviously, having an AK is going to be better than having a pistol here, but the next one, sorry, the next round I should say, the next gun buy, he's going to be on a Galil or a Mac 10 armor and a bit of util. It's not ideal. So already some disadvantages to Sampi's next buy before we even see the eco play out, but for the most part, just a gimmicky strat, something fun, something funky, try and capture Illuminar off. It would be nice to see, because I feel like this game all in all has been dead straightforward.
I think it's also a good chance to quickly speak about the coaches before we go into this next round as well. When you actually look at the experience that the two have, on the Illuminar side, Splavik just come in, 23 years old, so pretty young for a coach. And only having a 36% map win rate over the last 3 months. So he's been there since March 2024. And actually, for Illuminar, you know, up until this point and these last few wins, things haven't looked great. You contrast that with Sampi, for example. Beeful, 32 years old. Not to sort of just dox these guys' ages or anything. He's been with Sampi since 2022, so they've had 2 full years of experience with a much more convincing map win rate, 48%, just under the halfway mark. And yeah, there's a wealth of experience that goes with that. Savannah boosting the AK, nothing found from that one, it gets changed hands. And Illuminar, yeah, this should be a clean round for them. To sort of just go back to what I was saying there as well. When you speak about this PGE Turel core that we've seen, right?
Yeah.
Names coming into Illuminar from elsewhere in the Polish scene as they clean up this one. Splavik began his career there, but no, not alongside any of the names that we have here. Just, I guess, you know, when you have a tight-knit scene and there's vouchers across, he's sort of managed to find his way in here. And they're starting to find form, so, you know, hopefully that win rate can increase. But he's been surplus to requirements so far, because it just feels like they've been able to do a good job round to round. And, well, this round is incredibly important, because now the scoreline is tied.
All the hard work unwoven for Sampi so far. And I like this. Okay, Bielini getting aggressive. His feet won't be spotted by the Alive now. Lobs the smoke over the top. Flashbang chucked in. Bielini will turn, but the Alive gets before it. That is cheeky. Short player caught in transition. PHR fights for his life at the top of connector now as the util pours out of middle. And Illuminar now have to win out from the 3v4. It's a good start for Sampi.
It looks as if they were going to be making that pivot towards the B site, but already Ultimate's posted up there. They'll be recommitting with numbers back through ramp after the Alive was dismissed. In terms of utility, Kadzu's not too far away. He's got a flash over the top that he can use. PHR with an empty utility belt is going to have to go down swinging, but has already made his way over towards the triple boxes and may even move even further back towards CT. Kadzu has the cross. Okay, still not played in. Zetko takes him down, and with it, a lot of control goes. PHR's absence now makes things a bit of an issue. Kadzu, Bogdan's Law, given the AWP, again has the utility to play in the rest, but it's a swift trade, which means he should be on for a save.
Should be. Operative word there, but yeah, okay, he does decide finally to back away, tuck tail, and remove himself from this situation. Good round out of Sampi. Couple of casualties. It is Illuminar that are punished massively, and the AWP doesn't even get transitioned into the next round. It's Mangus that scoops it up off of the attempted save from Kadzu. So Sampi still with a bit of a lead and a bit of fight within them. That flash into the peak is brilliant. I mean, what can you do there, to be honest? The Alive has played that so nicely. You've got to turn away from the flash because you'll get blind. And then as soon as you try and turn away, the Alive is peeking and he doesn't get blinded by it. So all the power to him.
Oh, look, even trying to find a solution there and, you know, hindsight 2020. Even if you move forward and hope that it goes off screen, you've got the movement error. Dropping down from the pots yourself, yeah, it is excellent work from the Alive. And I think they kind of just missed out on a little bit of that entry work in the previous, Ryan. Didn't feel like Sampi were finding advantages all too often, and you know, by the time the CT, or the T side I should say, did find success, They were already in dire straits. It was done, right? Map point had been hit by Illuminar on Dust 2. Nice nade through middle. PHR dropped low. Drops back deep into the site, in fact. But the one furthest forward is Katsu. Oh, nearly gets a second. Mangus onto 44 points of HP. It's a jungle smoke from the opposite side, and with Zedco's support, PHR goes down in jungle. Now they can really start to move towards A. Unless they still wish to correct this one in a different direction, because still nothing's been spotted by Illuminar. Ultimate AWP is the one that you've got to beat if you go elsewhere. They're not, they're just sitting and waiting for something to happen.
Oh,
Where
nice.
on earth is Fino looking? Shot in the back of the head from Bialini, and they've lost their advantage in the blink of an eye. The Alive will get out on sight, but he's not cleared Berlin. What is going on? Sampi evaporate in front of our eyes.
They just choke up massively when it needs to be crunch time. Like, look at the positions they have. 2 in connector. You've got the Alive coming up ramp. And it's like, sure, if you want to do these things together, so be it. But look at this, right? Nice shot from Bielini. You've got to rely on your jungle player to activate. Yeah, I don't know what on earth's happening there. But you need either your jungle player to activate or for your ramp player to start pushing in. The Alive was late to the ramp push. Your jungle player was just sat there waiting for something to happen. I don't know. I'd have liked to have seen a little more proactiveness out of the original push from Sampi. Allowing the comp players to go first is what completely disrupts the movement in that play.
He froze. My man hasn't moved in 5 minutes. It's a little bit like that. I think, look, the thing with Sampi as well, right, is in a lot of these rounds, they get those advantages, like I said. That was something that was missing. But yeah, it's that instinctiveness that we're talking about here, right? I don't think it ever feels like they want to just push as a team. They're waiting for an advantage, you know, a further advantage, which they're never are realistically going to get against Illuminar because they're a very disciplined side. Here it's just the eco push. Savannah's Deagle that's left and quickly lost. Has you a chance to kill, has to get away from the HE, which has put him down to a grand total of 1 HP. PHR moving in. That's going to be the round done.
Very nice. Swift pickup for them. No worries at all. Money going to be drained out of the bank accounts of Sampi here as they go for the 5 rifles. No AWP available for Fino. For Illuminar, a chance to make leaps and bounds over this Sampi attack. 5-4, a quick win here. 6, eco afterwards, 7. You know, it's like 1 round of success and you're looking at a very one-sided scoreline, or at least a lot more than what it could be.
Yeah, and Sampi gave us a competitive start to the first half in the previous map as well, but that one finished 8-4, and this one could be heading in a similar direction. Let's see if we can rely on some of that early entry work. Fino's up against the AWP this time, so Ultimate will find that one no trouble. Not the way that you would have wanted it to begin. The Alive has been consistent, though. Where do they go from the 4v4? Into the HG, apparently. Lovely from PHR. They backed away. Zedco is moving up jungle. There is method to the madness. He won't take the timing just yet. Waiting for a second player perhaps to cross the murder hole. The bomb's going back through mid. They're heading towards Ultimate's AWP here. Zedco could still get spotted, and Illuminar have a much better guess as to what's going on. It's allowed PHR to fully complete the rotation. Ultimate's up on a new angle. I feel like they've just fully overcomplicated this Sampi. They're going to be walking straight into him again, and they've given a second chance away to the sniper. The bomb's not gotten any further. Furlan's got a brilliant idea as to what's going on by this point in time. It's another completely miscalled round.
1v4 for Mangus. You walk into the short AWP. Jungle's being held. Illuminar have got a cover for every gap in the system. A flashbang thrown, then a smoke. If he moves through it here, Mangus, he will be dead. The no scope from Ultimate will finish the job. We mentioned how important and impactful he was in Dust 2, and it looks to be that he's revving up to do the same here. 6 now on the board for Illuminar. As I said, the eco afterwards should be 7. There's a chance at an 8-4 half here.
I mean, look, there wasn't exactly Ultimate AWP masterclass on our forecast, but when you come out of You know, map number 1, Dust 2, such a good map for AWPing. Into Mirage, with the kind of form that he's in, the result is somewhat expected. But again, I mean, Sampi had pieces in the right places there, just couldn't fully activate the game plan. Not sure what the idea was, and I have absolutely no idea what the Alive is doing rounding the corner with a nade out there either. Ultimate blinded, but not dissuaded. Savannah does take down Bialani. The flames spread a little further there than he was perhaps anticipating, but VHR, safest pair of hands, easy collections for him.
Another round for Illuminar.
Very nice. Very, very nice. Tech timeout before we head into the last round of our
First half here in the second. Apparently there's a mouse problem for Furlan. He'll be restarting his game and back in a sec. But I don't know, Harry. I think for me, I mean, just going to say it how it is, and that is that it should not be 8-4 to Illuminar, or at least a threat of an 8-4. Sampi had a great start, had every opportunity to move forward, stretch their legs, and maybe even make this a half of their own. Instead, have just been forced to turn their backs against the wall once again.
But look, they came out of the gates with a fast 4 rounds. You're feeling confident at their chances. Again, like I said, they're finding entry picks. They were getting site control. And then they were just lollygagging, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they just sit there and they're waiting for more picks. Or, you know, they're sat around in mid and they're like, oh, we've got 1-man advantage. Or, you know, maybe even it's like a 3v3, 4v4. We want another one. I don't know. Like, again, as I said, Illuminar are probably just a bit too disciplined to be giving those away. So instead, we end up finding Sampi in these silly situations where they're like, you know, 1v1, pushing into random angles, trying to clear stuff by themselves without utility.
Yeah.
That was the situation for a few of those rounds. And I don't know, right? Illuminar have just been taking everything that's been given to them and playing a strong game themselves. There's not too much that you can fault them on. At the same time, when Sampi have been in strong positions, they've just failed to convert. Or like even a couple of rounds ago when you've got Zedko in jungle, I think they were just a little too fearful to re-clear towards ramp or palace, right? At the possibility that Illuminar were proactive. But if you actually look at the last few rounds, if you take that information on the map, they haven't been. It's not like they've been getting hyper-aggressive or anything, sparing, you know, the odd round in mid. So, 4 towards A this time, on what is the final chance for them to get any more than just that 4th.
Peeking, Bialani, so aggressive in Palace. I mean, sure, Savannah's holding for it, but you're not expecting it, are you? Never an expected push, not to mention the damage that's already been done to Fino and the chip onto Mangus. The Orb Claws 1 back 4v4, PHR cannot afford to turn this angle. Yeah, I was wondering if he was spotted there, but no, not the case. Now the bodies start flooding up ramp.
You do have Zedko through mid late, and he can offer value for 1 kill. Furlan has it traded. The Alive finds another one back. 3 versus 2. Health advantage, however, still, Illuminar can very easily make this one difficult.
Fino shot through the box, has finished it off. Sampi are going to get a 5th round. It's a 5th round which they were in desperate need of coming onto the CT side.
That is very, very nice. Sampi are able to turn things around. A very winnable 1v3 for Kazi, may I add. Knew where both players were, and one of which was Fino on low HP and connector, or at least at the bottom of stairs at time of death. Very, very winnable round, but no, not the case. 5-7. Pistol round would really either set Illuminar apart from Sampi or give the CT side an opportunity back into this game.
Pistol round, for me, must win for Sampi. Again, look, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but it's not looked great up until this point. Savannah opening pick is a much better turn of events, however. Mangus getting his one, Savannah another. Anything more from the kid would be insane, and he walks away with a couple more. Triple kill from Savannah on the B entry. That's exactly what Sampi needed.
Good round start, or good half start I should say for Sampi. Pistol looking strong. Illuminar take to the full eco. We'll go for a buy in the next. Nothing too serious. A bit of a throwaway round all in all. But of course it's only for tie game at 7-all. A neutral standpoint after 14. Equal chances for both.
Everyone out through top mid. What can Fino do? How many can he possibly get? Rhett is at range. Probably not going to find anything more, but yeah, it's the A1S show in this round, Ryan. That's what the S stands for, actually. Maybe it stands for Sampi. Who knows? They're starting to get back into this one, though. 7-7. Scoreline tied. Now is where I think we have to be a little more critical of both teams, because it is the first gun round that we're going to see. And, well, nade advantage here for Sampi to get back into things. Sure, they've got a couple of MP9s, but we've already seen how valuable those can be in the right circumstances. It's going to be one of those from the Alive on A. Playing up close and personal towards ramp. Mid-push, where Illuminar start their default.
Push on in. Mangus in underpass. Opening frag, this needs to be cut out quickly by Kazu, and that it will. Able to swing through the apartments and get the trade, so as the dust settles 4v4, but an early disruption towards middle has thwarted any progress that Illuminar wanted to make.
Yeah, it's such an important one for one there. Still, an AK lost, and this can be tossed into the hands of one of those Sampi players. The Alive is still on his MP9, and there we go. So Fino, the sole A player, the anchor. Back so far as triple. And we'll just be hiding and waiting for a cue, right? Illuminar, they're going to empty the nades towards the site. It telegraphs the push a little bit more. Sampi should have a good 5-10 seconds to call this rotation before any fights get taken. That is now, of course. And yeah, you can see the Alive starting to make his way over. A little bit of trouble for Fino brewing. Illuminar need to be quicker off the mark here to make sure that they can convert this kill, and they will. So Ultimate with a takedown, and already thinking about the flank. That's Zedko as well. 2 kills for Ultimate. That's the man advantage, Sampi.
And the molly dropped in towards jungle. Unfortunately, the smokes put it out, so it would have been a real delay, a real problem for Sampi to get into the bomb site. Instead, they're going to have a look, holding the shift keys, making no noise. The Alivers broke the silence, tapping the AK, 2v3, and unfortunately, already half this CT retake gone. Smoke on top of the bomb. Can't allow him to cross here. Savannah still trying to fight. It's PHR that spams. Savannah turns thinking he's being pushed. And it's Ultimate that is able to collect his 4th. Illuminar will just about hold on in front.
Ultimate has looked so damn good so far this series, Ryan. Not just the AWP, but the rifle here. And to check the flank so quickly is what finishes off Sampi there in my eyes. 3 versus 2, duly converted. Even the smoke kit combo not fierce enough to pose too much of a threat. A marginally better buy from Sampi here, I guess you could say. They are without head Kevlar, but it doesn't really make a difference. Only Kazu's Galil will be reaping the benefit of that one. Another flash for a mid-play. It's Sampi which take the initiative this time, and it works.
It's nice. Just mention a cheeky flash play, a cheap investment. Oh no! Ultimate's got to throw the molly to top stairs. Kazu's just peeked out and took a bit of glass to the face. It's a minute left for Sampi to hold on to both sides and level the scoreline once again.
Yeah, not ideal when your teammate's smashing bottles over your head.
Yeah.
You'd hope it's made of sugar glass. Yeah, player down. In terms of map space, well, you immediately saw the decision to call Verlin over towards B apartments to give them the option should they choose to elect for it. Still, Bomb is committed towards the other extremity, however. Yeah, I think Verlin will probably be making his way through underpass, back through mid connector for a late backstab, so long as the ramp push can get its work done. There are 3 CTs here, though. Sampi have guessed correctly and set up accordingly to deal with any kind of aggression that Illuminar is going to show. Katsu already into Sandwich, alive. Fino, both there with him, ready to try and take this duel, but it's a wallbang towards Dark, which leaves the remainder of the CTs on the opposite side of this push. Furlan's got in through the con smoke, right into the face of Zedko, twice at the tap, 2 headshots, made into a third, and Sampi extending an advantage here.
Cheekily done. Really well put together. Zedko's double, I feel like, is imminent. I mean, finding a hat-trick is just for the highlight reel. The threat neutralised, 8-all tie game. And, well, I say an even standpoint in terms of scoreline, yes. In terms of economy, no. Illuminar with just pistols to work with here. Chance for Sampi to get ahead.
Yeah, it feels like this one could be right down to the wire. Illuminar seem to be getting the better of these fights on the re-execute, but it's early on where Sampi stealing away a kill. Like right now, Savannah on Furlan, for example, would probably be a situation where you see that happen. Smoke gets deployed. Savannah on the spam could just be good for one, and he is. So there you go, prime example. 4 versus 5. But Illuminar do bite back pretty well usually. It's A where they'll choose to make that decision. Fino top mid's going to be hearing this though. So rotation called for Zedko.
Yeah, 2 players already stacked up on the site. Any damage here would be nice, allowing the Glock to go first, so pistols behind him. Good enough for the trade, and it's exactly that. Ultimate hits him with a D. This man is on fire with anything right now. Whatever walks into his crosshair is just dying, and a bomb plant finally threat neutralized, but it's money in the pockets for the T side that they wanted the most. It's Zedko that peaks, has a look towards the sandwich position, and a second kill for Zedko through the corner of the box. Defused shortly afterwards. Sampi up to 9, but a competent buy in front of Illuminar could spell disaster for the CTs.
Yeah, I mean, for a guy who was on the bottom end of single-digit kills for quite a while on Dust 2, 17 and 11, it's been much more convincing from him. And even not fully taking that peak through triple and just wallbanging the final player, really smart. Not giving away anything extra. And actually, Sampi with 2 AKs now in this CT setup, full nades, AWP.
It's pretty much the perfect storm. With Illuminar, again, as I said, struggling to make that initial entry work. Could be in hot water. At the same time, it does seem to just be a full execute this time around. So everybody will be present, but Furlan goes down again. The follow-up isn't quite there. The AWP gets back on the angle, and Fino cracks the whip for a second. Zedko slotting right in behind, and everything that man touches turning into gold right now means that it is a clean one. Should just be flawless.
That's sad, isn't it? That's your chance back into this game. Illuminar given a window of opportunity. Instead, it's been swiped completely away from the T side. They'll call for a timeout, and you can understand as to why, Harry. Not much time left now until it's game over. And you will require a third map. The 30 seconds offered as a moment of self-reflection. I feel like another disappointing round, and a round that they ideally very much needed.
Yeah, man, I mean, you got to think about that timeout towards the end of the first half for Sampi, calling upon the experience that I said they have in coach slot. And
yeah, I mean, they've not really looked back since. 7-5 was the score. in favor of Illuminar. They've only found 1 round on the T side so far, and have very quickly gotten
Stuck into a rough economy cycle. Couldn't get the bomb plant on the previous either. Sampi so quick to react to that information. Back to a default here with Tech9s. Vino stuck out of window with a smoke in his face. Zedko could be in trouble. Furlan is right by him and finally able to get his work done. A 1-for-1 should be enough because they've been without him in the last few rounds. Ultimate snagging an AK has to be the biggest concern. This guy's on fire at the moment. And with a premium rifle, well, there's any chance that this one could get out of control. Savannah does find PHR. The flank threatened forces Katsu to run back into the open air where Fino will punish. 2 versus 4 is starting to look nowhere near likely anymore. Ultimate does get one there, and Connector is aware of the second. No head armor means Savannah is quick to remove him. Bialani's still alive. Not onto the defuse just yet. AWP through the box. Needs to find a few kills. Savannah saves the day yet again. Sampi locking in an 11th, but not without cost.
Yeah, that's tough, because in some respects that's a very winnable round, and you're going to be quite disappointed that you don't close in good fashion there for Illuminar. I think Ultimate picking up the AK, as you say, is a massive threat. But Sampi with 5 of the last 6. Desperate need of a win. The Illuminar side can't afford Sampi to 12. Want to try as best as they can to close this gap in regulation. My God. But all the same for Sampi, right? Just a step closer to home and taking us to a decider.
Oh, Fino off the angle with his AWP. Nobody close by, not going to hear the click of the scope. Ultimate holding on from middle as well. Trying to spot the head! Oh my God, Fino! That is a ridiculous flick. Frame perfect, off screen, didn't even see Ultimate go down. They'll try and boost back through to take the fight, but the boost is disassembled from the bottom up.
Unreal by Sampi in what will be a 12th round for them, surely, from this point.
That's so sad to see. That's really sad. Bomb picked up but quickly put back on the ground. They've done 2 damage between 4 casualties.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of the same issues that you saw for Sampi, though. Do you know what I mean? In terms of game plan, they were waiting for the fight to come to them. Finally, we see something in middle, but it's Fino who takes initiative. PHR probably want to save this AK. The bomb's right under his nose alongside 2 players.
Flash over the top, Mangus going through. Very well read by PHR.
Turned away from the flash, found the player at the exact same time. Knows about the second. But doesn't really want to risk it. Sampi want to make sure he dies after time. This could be terrible, but no! PHR spins the narrative. Double headshot. Only one of those AKs makes it out of the round in the end, actually, so Illuminar the gap of 4 rounds, but still not too convinced right now that they can fully reverse this result.
So sad to see. That's really sad, because the excitement quickly fizzled out for me for this Illuminar side. As soon as they lost that second gun round, it's like, well, nothing's working out. We took 1 tack pause. It felt maybe a little too late in the cycle to pull off any success. Asking for 4 rounds in a row to push to OT. Chances right now quite low.
They do improve with PHR finding that kill, but again, Furlan, it just goes missing in another round. You got to call it as it is. I don't think he's looked anywhere near as good as on Dust 2 in terms of finding those openers. Ultimate removed from the equation, and that was the winning equation. Bialani and Katsu do have something alternative to offer here, and behind their own connector smoke, the A set up through, but the Alive in hot pursuit. This one has not yet been considered. I think PHR's finally spotted it though, and well, he is more than sufficient to deal with that issue.
Savannah 1v3, been good in a clutch.
Does have the AK though, and might just want to keep it to galvanize this defense a little further. Smoke and a kit.
Yeah.
If this is the way that Illuminar go out, they'll be going down sad.
Yeah, no, you can spot it. They know exactly what's going on. Smoke goes up, BLNE swings, knowing they can't risk the threat of opportunity. Illuminar take a ninth, need 3 more in a row. I will say, actually, economy's a bit lopsided for Sampi. Very top heavy. You can see Savannah's can bring out the M4s of the world. He can get himself one, drop across one.
Yeah.
The AWP. Mangus, Zedco can both buy, but now it's rock bottom, depleted completely. You're going to get a buy in round 22. If you lose, Eco in 23, last buy in 24.
That is scary. Illuminar spotting a crack in the door and wedging their foot to see if they can cross that threshold into playoffs inside 2 maps. You look at their history in that 5-game win streak, they've only lost 2 maps across those 5 games. 1 to Enterprise, 1 to 3D Max, the 2 biggest out of the lot. And to be honest, I put Sampi almost up there with them. Not been without their own issues though, and that may just come to light here. 3 players towards connector, early utility from Illuminar to fight it. The bomb net not yet committed. This Midgel is absolutely everything right now. Ferlin making it out towards ladder room, starting to wrap around. They've just got to wait for him to be in place, so Mangus is a free kill, but Mangus knows that there was a chance he'd be taken out. He was aware of it, and Savannah has finished things off. Put the final details on this second map. Finally, Sampi get over the hump
and send us to the decider of Ancient.
Yeah, and look, they played well on Mirage. They look strong in this second half. Very, very good job to keep on pushing. Well, as for Illuminar themselves, another loss to the tally on this map for their own. Ancient the decider. Sampi and Illuminar, similar win rates, but for the Sampi squad, it's a much more played map for them. 25 over the last 3 months, only 12 for that of Illuminar. So definitely an experience game that favours the side that just come off of the map win.
Yeah, and look, only the 3rd map loss for Illuminar in their last 11 played. So in terms of statistics, right now you do still continue to favour Illuminar. But if Sampi can channel this into some real momentum after losing their 2 previous series in CCT to qualify to playoffs, being in the 2-2 game from 2-0, then there's plenty of confidence to take away. And again, now maybe I'm starting to lean a little bit more towards them than anyone else. Ancient is certainly going to be interesting, Ryan. We're going to have to find out how exactly that one goes after the break.
Tired of boring case openings? Do you always get only cheap skins? The Hellcase website has tons of options to upgrade your inventory. It's up to you to participate in giveaways, events, or compete with other players in opening cases. Hellcase, your world of expensive skins.
Do you have any unnecessary skins or want to sell them? Try Skin Place. Visit the website, select the skins you want to use. Easily fill your Steam trade link. Make sure we offer good prices and choose a payment method. Hit the button and boom! Instant cash. Safety. Low commissions. Instant payouts. Skin Place.
What's a super stream game? It's an extension that provides a valuable and engaging game within the stream you are watching. Join an active community and test your knowledge in a live race against expert chasers by answering trivia, prediction, and recall questions tailored to the content you are watching.
Welcome back to CCT Europe Series 5. We have just seen the second map conclude between Illuminar and Team Sampi. It's going all the way to the decider. We're heading to Ancient to settle the fate of both of these teams in the 2-2 stage. The final round of Swiss with a couple of spots left for playoffs. Ryan, this one has also just had a bit of an interesting turn of events that we can now bring to light for everyone watching at home.
Yeah, well, clearly it's something that needed to be done. Apparently there is a change. Sampi have opted to, well, I say opted to, it's not by choice, but have removed Bielany and added Splowik, their coach, to play the final map. So I don't quite know what to make of this, Harry, because obviously, first and foremost, I hope all is well with Bielany. You know, I hope nothing serious is happening, but yeah, I mean, it's a massive change to make heading into your third and final map. Shout out to production, by the way. Yo, our producer, already pressing the buttons, making the changes. So there's the roster that we're going to see in map 3. I don't know, Harry. For me, at least, I'm not too happy with the change. I mean, no one's going to be, right? Because heading into what is your deciding map here, it's just unfortunate that you have to make such a change like this and bring in your coach. I think I said Sampi earlier. I meant Illuminar. So, yeah, there you go.
I mean, this is the thing as well, like the fact that Katsu's already playing, that Anorex isn't here. I think Katsu's actually looked really good so far in Illuminar, so I wouldn't say that that's really made too much of a difference. But, yeah, I don't know. This is not the position that you want to be in. In terms of performances we've actually seen out of Splavik, though, I think it is important that we mention the last time that he was in-game as a player was also for Illuminar. The only time that he ever had been was in the CCT Europe Series 5 closed qualifier. So the closed qualifier for this very event. And in terms of performances, well, he went over 3 maps, 32 and 39. He was -7, but he did outperform Bielany. So actually, maybe it could be a like-for-like trade, you know, still a chance. And in a game that mattered, he did have a performance to match. So who knows? Maybe it's not done just yet.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I want to be very speculative heading into this because you've got to understand, I can tell you firsthand that it's very different sitting in the coach slot for 2 maps and then being thrown right into the deep end and being forced effectively to play this third map out. I don't know, man. I think for me, it's one of those things you look at and you're like, well, that's not ideal. And then, you know, you've got to bear the change all by yourself. Get used to it. You've got a third map to play, and as you say, you know, this is do or die. You were talking about him playing in the closed qualifier to get into this main event. You've also got to understand this is now basically a BO1 qualification for the playoffs of this event. So already, not the most ideal of scenarios. We are just waiting for an electricity problem. Ultimate apparently you know, maybe a power cut of some sorts. He's right back at it though, and we should be starting very shortly.
Yeah, and speaking of Ultimate, you want to, you know, talk of that previous game that we saw Splavik play in? Ultimate went plus 29 there, so I think that made a little bit of a difference, let's just say, in terms of performances. You contrast that with the series that we've currently got over the last few maps. Well, Ultimate is plus 16, so he needs to pull out, you know, another plus 13 performance if we're going to see something similar here. And to be honest, he was on it on Mirage. I don't think you can take anything away from that. For me, it was more Furlan. Like, I think, you know, he looked good on Dust 2. They had some nice opening kills. Here, it just felt like they were sending him out as a probe sometimes. He'd go solo. Maybe he gets his 1-for-1. But even towards the latter stages of the T side, that wasn't really enough. You know, it didn't cut it. He wasn't making openings, taking away map space as you would really hope from your entry fragger. So on to Ancient now. The priorities are set. We know exactly what we're expecting to be coming out here from Illuminar. We put them under the microscope. We need those results from them if this is to be a team in form that can carry that form into a game which decides what their fate will be.
Yeah, do believe we are literally just jumping into the action very shortly, Harry. Give me your thoughts. Amidst all of this change and what have you, are you believing now maybe Sampi a chance like no other to qualify to the playoff stage because of the change and now ultimately being, or even in the series, coming off of a map win? Or do you think that this is a chance for Illuminar to throw some randomness in there and really throw us off our thoughts?
No, I agree with the former rather than the latter. This is Sampi's map to lose. It always has been. This has been Sampi's, you know, qualification to lose since that first game against Mouse NXT. They couldn't make up for it against Aurora Youngblood. This, again, another opportunity against an Illuminar team, which, as I said before, have had form at their backs. They've been in a brilliant position, now dealt a bad hand. The only way I can see this Polish team making it into the playoffs is if Ultimate has an insane game, and as I said before, if Furlan is able to be a little bit more consistent with his entry work, because I think he let down the team a couple of times on Mirage just gone by. We're going to be heading into the action. We're now ready for what is the final map in this morning game. 6 teams remaining in the Swiss system, half of them going home, 3 more moving into the playoff stages, and between Illuminar and Sampi, only one will be punching their ticket.
Man, it's so tough to see that they have to bring out changes into the third map. I'm hoping for the best from them though. So far, it's even. Trades going back and forth, but it's a winner towards the B site. The T side have a bit of space, chance for a plant. The numbers game favouring the Sampi squad though, but Ultimate to bring things level 2 more towards long, and both scouts taken. The combination of Ultimate and Furlan now puts Fino in the clutch.
Bomb plant is the other side of the blue pillar. Illuminar, 2 players towards long side, should finally start to realise this as the penny drops. Wrapping around the side, fight to be taken on Katsu. 2 guns versus 2 players, but can't do it. Illuminar finding the opening pistol for the first time in the 3 maps that we've seen played.
It's a good start, a very strong start. Happy with how Illuminar conducted themselves there. You know what's crazy, Harry, is like most production teams not ready for the change, not ready to see a new player in. Not only did we have it on the graphic before the game, he's got the damn headshot
Picture
in
now.
In the game already. That is mega. Clearly ready for the occasion to step up here. We'll see if Illuminar can go 2 for 2. As 1 AK, 4 Mac 10s. It's a very SMG heavy buy.
I don't want to get too excited about Splavik here, though. That's because, I mean, you even look at the previous round. Furlan was one of the last bodies in. They just told him to play a little bit more defensive. This time, 4 pistols. Okay, yeah, perhaps that's not what he wanted. Look like they've been using Splavik to kind of like be that first guy in so they can just trade off the back of him. PHR getting quite a bit of work done there in Cave. This is dangerous, Ryan. Lots of guns lost, down to the AK and Mac 10. Minimal returns for Illuminar here. It's actually Splavik which helps them get out of trouble in the end. Not exactly the strongest economy built up to kick this one off.
buy for the CT side. Now, for the Ts, well, you can treat this as a little more of a bonus, be a little more lenient. Reduce yourself some damage. It's a fast push play towards A. Hold on a second, I thought they were going to default this. This is so quick from the T side.
I love this from Illuminar. Quick pace change, especially once they know about Sampi's mid-excursion. It has resulted in Zedko on a fast flank, so with that, Ultimate will go down at the back of the pack. The bomb's still not placed. Splowick hasn't managed to get out of Donut just yet, and it's allowed Fino to creep onto the site itself. He gets that pick as Furlan moves forward, trading places and trading out kills. Illuminar still at a man disadvantage, and with the bomb yet to go down, 2 players Donut side. Fino's the only one here who can realistically challenge. Furlan will start to realize that. There's still so much work to be done for the Poles if they want to recover this situation. It starts with Fino, and now the last 2 players Donut side, there's no utility to stop that, which may be ultimately which inhibits the possibility of this being a round win. And yeah, I think it has, because Mangus is poking right back at them in clean air. PHR low, 23 points of health, 2 players that he has to face. Does pick up the bomb and can maybe offer a plant, but it's out in the open. Just had no idea, and Sampi converting diligently.
Yeah, important that they get that one under wraps, I think, Harry. For us, maybe a bit of speculation, fast play towards A. Definitely did catch Sampi by surprise. I wouldn't say off guard, though. They were well trained on Donut, got a couple of kills. The back and forth saga just favouring the CT side at the end of it all. And I hear a couple of clicks in game. It's for attack pause. No worry, no technical here just yet.
Yeah, I mean, perhaps Splowick deciding, you know what? I'm in the server. Let me use my keyboard a little bit here and get some more pauses out, because we only saw 1 from each of the teams in the previous. It was Sampi in the first half and Illuminar in the second. I feel that the Sampi side got the better value of the 2 out of their break-in play. So 30 seconds now to mull over what we've seen. 2 AKs bought in, it's a force, down to the last $50 in the back pocket of every player. They know that Sampi are right up against it here as well, with 2 MP9s of their own and still not too much residual, so a couple of missing nades might be the biggest difference, I think, that we see in reality.
Only util deployed towards the mid position. The team's trying to get involved. They need into the smoke. Unfortunately for Fino, it's his life lost. Katsiu's got another. The Tech-9's starting to reign supreme. Nearly Splowick picking up on another 2v3, but it's a very digestible one at that.
Katsiu creeping around the corner, the Alive masked behind the wall, and Savannah slotting into place to support his teammate. 2 from Cave, the ramp push is deep, clean shot Katsiu, the healthy player lost, the Alive needs so much more, and he cannot suffice. Zedko walks into a 1v3 against a couple of wounded opponents. How much further does he want to try and take this? He knows that Sampi have to save in the next. Might just look to try and give them every chance here possible. Everybody frozen in place. Illuminar again. So disciplined in this kind of situation to not give anything away to Zedko. Nice shot to kick things off, but the headshot has stopped him dead in his tracks. Right back out of the bomb site and heading for the hills to make sure that Sampi get at least something in round number 5.
It's a shame that a save is required. It would have been nice to see, as you say, an attempt at a retake. I guess for them, maybe money just on the edge of, if you take a full eco, you can buy. But not ideal, nonetheless. 3-1. Illuminar with a bit of a gap now. Stretch their legs here as they approach, well, definitely with caution, but maybe a little more confidence, knowing that they've got a few rounds to play with before Sampi catch up.
Just Zedko's AK. Going to be burrowing himself straight into middle. It's actually a boost which he goes for. Really clean jump. Thought we were going to see him lodge towards cutout, but straight into this one. Push coming in from Illuminar though. Yeah, this is just going to be way too easy for the MAC-10. Fino gets dunked on, and the Alive is the one walking out with the rifle in the end. Splavik takes him down. The coach creates for the rest of his team.
Loving that for him.
I mean, look, every single kill that you get from coach slot into the server is just confirmation bias. Like, yeah, guys, I'm right all along. You are simply the ones that, when anything go wrong, can't actually execute what my brilliant ideas are in my huge brain and my, you know, even better mechanical skill, which I'm showing to you right now.
That's how it's done, guys. Watch me. I'm the GOAT. Learn, learn. Drink it in.
The crazy thing is as well, right, we've already said Splavik's actually quite a young coach, so you look at the average player age in the team, 23.7 years of age. And amongst those names, well, Furlan 29, PHR 27. Only Bielini and Ultimate are actually younger than him. Third oldest, third youngest player in the team, whichever way you flip it, right? He's sat right in the middle. Fast A push from Illuminar, straight in. Oh, Furlan round the backside, into Donut. Need to deal with Zedko, who's still hanging around the box, but default is secured. Bomb can get planted. Need to be careful of the Alive here, but the pre-fire from PHR is spot on. And Fino's exit out of Temple, maybe greeted in a sticky situation. No, Sampi, okay. They've managed to completely reverse this one. Angus coming back through Donut, able to get the trade out himself. Flash inside the smoke brings Ultimate off the angle. It's his AK, which has to best the big green this time around. Peek to the right side of the box, still no defuse worked on, and as they swing in unison, it is a second for Sampi.
They'll take it. They will absolutely take it. I think at least, you know, just to have a look through the replays, you can see here 3v2 in favour of Illuminar.
It's all about the positions.
Yeah, exactly. But a bomb plant, all the rest can invest fully, and I say the rest. It's Splavik on a MAC-10, 3 AKs in the AWP out on Ultimate, so swings and roundabouts to this buy, Harry, but the motivation will certainly be for Illuminar, knowing that, well, look, despite us having some turbulence in the previous round, if we win this one, the slate will be wiped clean. You know, there will be no money for the CT side to use.
Straight back into the next, and Mangus up 7-4 so far. Going for top kills in the server right alongside PHR, who's now starting to open up the B site, but Zedko's reprisal is more pressing. A1S, big value there. Ultimate left alone, AWP, and over a minute for him to try and ride the escape rope and make his way out of this round. You can see Savannah's already gutted the entirety of A main towards bottom mid. No easy route for him to make his way out here, and well, turn of the corner is well timed enough in his favor, just about. But no bomb on his back means that this one is already finished.
Shouldn't be a worry. Not a worry at all. Waiting for the final moments to die out, I guess, for Ultimate. The AWP is a very important weapon for the rest of the squad. Well, you know, you can afford to, say, throw this one away, but you know what I mean? Like, they can lose this round,
Sure.
eco in the next, as long as Ultimate keeps the AWP twice over. In the next, that is round 9, they'll be able to invest yet again. Rifles, armor, utility. As I said, it would have been nice, though, for Illuminar, because not only would this have been a 5th, indirectly a 6th, maybe even a 7th, depending on how the economy shapes up to be. It wouldn't have been a nice picture to paint for Sampi had they have lost, but they won't have to think about the negatives, only positives to take away from this one.
Look at the statistics for both teams on Ancient as well. Illuminar ever so slightly less win percentage than Sampi. Both teams under 50% for the record, but do tend to perform ever so slightly better on the CT side, whereas the bias for Sampi is on their T side, which means that second half is so much more important, and I mean anything extra that you can get here if you're Illuminar is going to count for quite a lot. AWP was kept, flash on the angle, the Alive straight past the scope, blinded up, back in, Ultimate gets another, and PHR finds the follow-up. All onto Zedko. He's looked brilliant so far, but up against 3, may just be outnumbered. Holds on for the first, and the rotation is called. Still hanging around the edge of this smoke, giving him life in the face of the molly, and Illuminar want nothing to do with it. They've seen enough.
Minute left. So many fights taken so early on. Recoup with losses in mind.
Zedko's here to meet this. It's the classic
Yeah.
bait and switch. Push ramp straight back through cave. Zedko again, another kill for him. Looking for a third on the round. Jumping from left to right. Trying to bait out this shot from Ultimate, because as soon as he does, he'll be favored again. No scope Ultimate. 30 seconds left to play with a bomb on his back. A quick switch to the AK in the clutch. Savannah could very well go overlooked in this corner, however. He's trained towards spawn side instead, and does have the timing for the A play. Fino on the donut cross. Outside of audible range, so as soon as that bomb gets planted, that's only when he'll know. And actually, he's heading more towards mid, so he's completely missed the opportunity. Ultimate's made this a 1v2 and a real possibility. Not for long.
No, sir. Orp finds, and with that, it will be tie game for all. Bomb plant. Bit of extra cash, you've got to understand, Harry. That's always the important factor, right? Get yourself a winner in terms of the finances. As for the flip side of things, well, for Sampi, I mean, in ideal worlds, there is some calmness now that you can reinvest into this round, go for the M4s, you know, your armor, your util, whatever it may be, the combination that you elect for, but should be keeping it, to be honest with you. No disappointment should be had in this round.
You're down onto pistols again. I mean, Illuminar, when it feels like they've got a round here and there, they just can't quite get going. And Zedko, again, after that first map, which, you know, wasn't great at all, let's be real, has looked a whole of a load better on both Mirage and kicking off Ancient as well. I mean, to just go back to Dust 2 for a second there, yeah, he ended up finishing 5 and 18, but on Mirage, dropped 19 kills and could be on for a similar tally here. In fact, he's looking for a new high score. Zedko, couple headshots up against the Eco. He will burn all the way down to the ground, however, and Furlan, in finding another, is inflicting damage on this CT economy, making sure they don't get away easy, even if they do pick up the round.
Oh, the Alive. Delivers one more. Furlan 1v3 has slipped the net, and he's got the bomb in his pocket. So if the timing will allow, he might just be able to walk towards B. And the timing, as I said, it might just, but no, the Alive comes back, spots him out, takes him down. Sampi find another.
Well played. No real chance there. I mean, look, there was that brief moment in the 2v3 where they had a chance to get that bomb plant, but we're just hoping that Sampi were going to re-aggress and they could win those duels. It did come down to the pistol in the corner. And nothing happening. Ultimate with issues again. Not what you want to see if you're hoping that Illuminar can pull this one off. Sampi back into the lead, and it's the gun round as well. So this is a very important round for both teams. Well, what could be one of the last gun rounds of the half as well, Ryan, we've got to mention.
Yeah.
I mean, Illuminar do have, I was going to say a bit of extra money, but PHR and Ultimate will be spending all of that here. You expect the AWP to come out, the rifle, the nades. I mean, tied at 5-5, yeah, you get one more chance in round number 12. And for Sampi, well, they're always going to have guns because the money for them here is enough.
Moment of silence for us here in the server. As you say, more technical issues plague us, but not to worry, we'll get back into the action soon. Big fan of what we've seen out of both sides, to be honest. Sampi's defense is looking strong and, you know, starting to build bridges a lot more, I think, when it comes to their financial status now, Harry. As for Illuminar, well, even when they've been losing, some damage has been done. They know they've got at least a finger on the pulse of how Sampi is shaping up to be financially. The score is 5-4. We are getting to a third of the way through the game now, and there's not much separating these two teams at this very moment.
Yeah, Sampi not quite on the ropes just yet. Illuminar trying to put them there, pull themselves back up into this game even. Heichi kills off Katsu. Mangus doing a pretty decent job at dictating the pace towards Cave so far this game, Ryan. His own smoke is blown open by the HE and he wants to take more fights. Illuminar walking into the crosshairs, all the way pushed back behind double doors here. Ultimate can simply peer through the looking glass and what he sees is certainly not a sight for sore eyes. PHR looking to take the timing on the jump up back through the ledge, or even just be in a lurk position if you're to give Ultimate the weight of this round, force him to bear it. Because you've got a couple of options here, right? As I say, you station him for the lurk or he jumps up and tries to find Zedko, but with Mangus at his back, each side equally posed in terms of their setup. 2 more players for rotation if you need it.
Sampi looking stronger by the second, it feels like now, Harry. Putting pen to paper a lot more, I say that. And PHR has nailed him in flight, as you mentioned. Now 2v3, more digestible this situation, but 25 seconds, there's limited time.
Oh, Mangus goes down though. PHR spotted the shoulder and was just waiting for Ultimate to be there so they could play off of one another. Managed to make it happen. Fino is ready for the cross. There will be a flash in his face, but he's just about got past it. No, it's a perfect flash, in fact. PHR profiting off of his own utility. And Savannah now forced to walk head held low back into a 1 versus 2. This series started off with a clutch from him on Dust 2. That was in the pistol. This on the gun buy. Important that they can put Illuminar back down a peg yet again, and he's found the first kill. AK in his hands, but Ultimate in his wake. AWP off angle taken all the way in the corner. The hard clear, and he'll backpedal straight into his open arms. Illuminar tying the score back up again.
That is a fantastic little win, isn't it? I mean, PHR man of the hour, right? You can't deny that is incredible work from the rifle up. Swing out on long, Fino blind, and from there, gifted a very, very nice win. 5-all, tie game after 10. Concerning stuff, I mean, for the CT side, it's aggressive middle, and it's one that, well, I guess kind of pans out for the MP9.
Yeah, Savannah just shooting anything that moves. Strace has come back from outside the smoke. He knows it's live, and he diffuses the situation. 4 on 4, upgrade for him. AK back in his hands. 1 kill up after going down in the 1v1 in the previous round. Actually, PHR, which he finds, 12 and 10. The star of the previous. when you consider how that one went. Savannah needs to pull the cape on himself here because there are 4 players quickly moving towards A. By the time Sampi find out anything about this, as they now have done clearing out middle, I don't think that rotation's going to arrive in time.
Yeah, smoke goes out. I mean, they've got to be careful for CT because they've only deployed the 1 right now. Savannah's actually moved beyond the smoke. Splowik just going to go in as an entry. Mac 10 takes the fight. 5 points of health is all that he's left with. Any util towards Donut could be a killer.
Yeah.
But no, backs away with his life. 3v4, but to be honest, I fancy Illuminar's chances here.
Yeah, it was awesome from Savannah to take the man advantage back and then retreat. Donut space, smoke's now fading. AWP from Ultimate was looking towards Temple, but Furlan's moved up close. Flash past the face of Katsu means that the Alive can capitalize, and everything falls apart. Ultimate missed his window to at least snag a kill and bring it into a 3 versus 1, but there are 4 up against him. And with his nose to the ground, he will simply be letting this one go. Sampi up to 6. The advantage on the half beckoning them now. And it would be for the first time in this series that they can take such a stance, with the possibility of playoffs still looming for both teams.
Of course, you're going to have to buy. It's the last round of the half here for Illuminar, but it's not going to look great. 2 Galils, and it could even be 3. Kazu yet to choose, but... Oh, Furlan, hold on, drops the AK. He's got 4.1, he could actually get an AK of his own, so it's a shaky buy, but it's a good enough one. They'll call another timeout here, their second used on Ancient, just to make sure that the finance balanced out correctly, and to discuss what they want to do. Splowik probably now taking a more IGL heavy position. You know, as a coach, the thing that you bring most is knowledge, so for them, I think it's quite nice to have him in the slot on the server and be like, well, what do you think? You know, you're a set of eyes, you've been playing the game, a deeper understanding maybe of what it's like in action. What do we call upon?
I mean, you look at Furlan usually being the IGL of this team. So, yeah, for sure. I mean, it makes sense. And actually, looking at the details a little bit further, Bielany, it's almost like an interim position for him on Illuminar because he is also with Big Academy. Perhaps the reason for his exit. And, well, in terms of filling up those gaps, there's a hole shaped the size of 2 players, which one has been able to get plugged, but immediately Sampi punching in the next AWP shoulder spot. Fino is so fast. Ultimate gone. And with it the round, Splavik 1 versus 4 with barely any health to a credit to himself. Molly and a HE can be thrown quickly to his position. What can the coach do for the Illuminar side here? I don't know, Ryan. Bomb on his back. Would you have seen anything like it?
No. I don't think we will either.
1 in a million. Still has a smoke.
It's tricky,
HE is tossed. Well, Savannah's got 1 more.
I mean, now Splowik's completely cornered. He made noise running in CT spawn. It was picked up by the shelf push the Sampi side wanted to deploy. And so now, Fino's got a deep hold on ramp. You've got 2 players in middle. You've got Savannah just sat patiently outside A if he came that way. Fino collects the last. Sampi with a lead heading into the second half here.
Yeah, I mean, Splavik has to hit probably the craziest shot that we've seen all series long to even beat that first line of defense, like you say, and Fino goes right through him, as he has the majority of Illuminar. Cut them in half in that previous round. The AWP looking really good from Mirage to Ancient, whereas, you know, maybe on Dust 2 we didn't get a chance to see all too much of it. Fino, again, is one of those names that's been in this team for a long time now, and on his day can look like one of the best AWPers that there is in, you know, all of Tier 2. I'll stand there and say it. I think it's consistency which has been the biggest factor, and again, you know, that's a team-wide issue for Sampi, I think. Onto the pistol here. If you find this one on your favoured side, sure, Illuminar have their own preferences as PHR is able to deal with the first, but you'd be in good standing order to make it out of Swiss yet again.
Beautiful drops outside A. It's the information, though, that's going to help the CT side the most. PHR back against the wall. 4v3, CT side have the numbers game, but a bit of space offered up to Sampi. What can they do with it? They know the Julies are made, but do they know the USP's up close? Furlan with one, the Alive will trade, but now the bodies start to flood from every direction.
It's an excellently played pistol round from Illuminar, and while it's not over just yet, it was effectively really well set up. First opening pick through PHR, who has been on fire so far in this final map. And then you activate a quick flank, or, you know, pressure a main, I should say, cutting out any pressure on that extremity.
And the rest of the push coming back through, well, there's nowhere for them to go. They're so far as Temple, and you've got players main dealing with you on the other side of the big box. Just excellent work. Back within one, no bomb plant, no force. They're heading towards A though, and there is no anchor until you look as far as Donut and Furlan's MP9. Oh yeah, you can take a couple, but I think you go down for the cause here, Ryan. So as long as Zedco gets there quickly enough, it should be a bomb plant. Not too sure if there's too much Furlan can do about this one. Yeah, rotation called, and yeah, they've called it quits.
They threw the flash as if they were going to send it in and go for the push instead.
Yeah, I was waiting for it, man. And to be honest, I fancy their chances. Yeah, it's an SMG, but there's only so many bullets in the magazine.
No, you're dead right. I thought they were just going to commit to the cause as well. Instead, no. It's a bit of an unfortunate one, and yeah, straight into middle. MP9 with one, a second for the SMGs, and well, all but one is found for the CT side for the $600 bonus. M4 of Splowik pinches one away, but it is tie game at 7-all.
Yeah, it's the bomb solo, and 4 players through mid into the crossfire of the rifles. I know that we can see everything on the map, and you know it's easy to sit back and say that as a neutral, but it's not the first time that Sampi have played a T-sided round, kind of like Mirage, where there are a couple question marks over what the game plan was, or if they're just freestyling the mid-round a little bit.
That's how it feels like the calls have been a little bit at times. Not to be critical of the decisions made necessarily, but just the fact that they have been a bit wishy-washy about what they wanted to do, I think.
Yeah.
That's a fair assessment. Here it's another bomb committed towards A main. You do still have Savannah pressuring B and the Alive at bottom mid. Site is open again. They are able to contact out of it this time, though.
Molly's in, pushes are out. Well, I say that, not that the CTs are going to know about it, because again, they play very retake heavy. The flashbang from Furlan is good, but Mangus there to help a friend in need. Bomb plant, 4v5. I mean, money's good enough. You can go for an attempt of a retake here for Illuminar, but for how long? Flashes, smokes, all of it pushing through. Double kill for the Alive. It's so easy. They just funnel into his crosshair, nearly finding a third through the smoke as well.
The ultimate silver lining here is that he can dig an exit tunnel and pick up an AK on the way. Shadow already reveals Vino's position, but in the end, Ultimate cannot pass go, cannot collect any reward. Sampi take the lead for themselves. Yeah, I mean, look, if you thought that Furlan solo as the A anchor with only an MP9 against that train of pistols was problematic in the round that we saw before, this one is way worse. In terms of the purchase here, well, they're going to go for it again, and I want to know if this CT setup's going to look the same. It seems like Ultimate will be floating towards Donut instead, so I have a little more confidence in how they're playing it this time. Bomb will be elsewhere, Sampi not giving them the respect.
Push towards middle. Oh my god, it's so sad. Ultimate is an AK up close. At least he'll readjust in time. The timing is just so unlucky. You know, if he holds that for even half a second longer, Harry, he gets that kill. 5v4.
Yeah, locked out of play as well. The AWP on a long rotation as it Felt as if the B play was coming in. Sampi have slowed down, and again, it's that mismatch of a mid-round, which I think might be coming back to bite them here. Mangus's lurk position from Red Room is done with. A new lick of paint in his blood this time. Bomb still hasn't moved anywhere. Ultimate is deep, so his rotation time's been cut now, like I was saying. Get information on A if they need it, but it's the B push where things come through. And oh, team damage. Okay, Savannah given an opportunity here on a wounded Furlan, pushed to the corner. 3 versus 2. Oh, it shouldn't last that much longer. What is that shot from Savannah? Where on earth has he even found Ultimate from there? Flash onto the CT player, it's PHR blinded, and a 1v1, which he converts, a 2v1, in fact, for the CT man. And Illuminar tie things right back up. I don't really know what I've just watched.
That's so sad to see for Sampi because they had every opportunity to breach into the site. But a couple of mistakes from everyone there. I think offering up the shot on ramp, as you say, Savannah just finding pixels over the top of ramp towards CT. Illuminar didn't have to give that so easily, but then the fact that there's 2 individual fights in the 2v1 taken by the Sampi players against PHR, all the better for the Illuminar defense. They've got money to spend, and now bodies to put in front of the push. Are they going to go clear in the close left? No, Splowit doesn't look, requires a Kadziu trade. Bit of a mistake from coach turned player.
Now you've got the coach in the comms. Just backseat the rest of the round. If you were going to take any kind of trade for a 4v4, that's what you'd want. I mean, up against these pistols, how much credit do you want to give Sampi here anyway? The added benefit was that A was left open, but again, they've failed to accelerate out of this choke, so Illuminar are afforded the time necessary to rotate. PHR's rifle is here, but only good for 1. Fino's picked that up. I don't think they'll be able to recover this lost machinery, Sampi. It's a 3v3, and it's Ultimate's AWP that's got to make its way back in. They've got a smoke, they've got a kit. Does head towards the main choke instead. This one's starting to drag out a little bit, though, and that does have me slightly concerned. Ultimate check in the back. Defuse is tapped. Another 1-for-1. Sampi bringing this one right down to the dregs at the bottom of the hourglass. Defuse starting to get stuck. No peek yet taken, and for that reason, Illuminar will walk away with it. Another very strange round where the Poles find the profit.
(9-8). Slight lead, advantage offered up. Illuminar can start running away with this game, Harry. It's up to Sampi now to put an end to their terror with the investment in front of them here. Pistols didn't really work out, at least, you know, a bit of extra space financially to go for an AWP. They've got utility, they've got all the right pieces in all the right places, but no one is holding for the swing. The molly they thought was a deterrent. Furlan sees it as an opportunity.
Yeah, again, Furlan 1-to-1. Same as Splavik. These are the kinds of trades that you're happy to take if you're Illuminar. You're considering form and everything else. Your IGL, your coach, doesn't matter if they go down. We'll keep our riflemen active and make the most of them. PHR, Kadziu, both adding to their tallies. The 2 top performers continuing to create turmoil for Sampi. The Alive will find the calf of PHR turned the opposite way. Not healthy. And that first line of defense to a recovery mission on the bomb. Oh, I don't know if he even expects the close corner here. Does clear it. Finds the shot for a 3v1. Less than a minute left to play. It's Splavik that you're up against next. And he's gonna find the kill as well. So Illuminar, 3 rounds on the bounce now, Ryan. And things are looking more and more worrying if you're Sampi.
Yeah, and it's 3 rounds away, Harry, from closing.
Halfway there, momentum continues to move in their favour. Sampi, another eco round required. Showed us promise in map 2, showed us hope on Mirage, but now here on Ancient is a decider when they need to turn up, when they need to deliver. Problems are starting to occur.
Flashes out. quite a lot of them. Early fight looking to be taken in mid, but Furlan has so much on his plate. And that trade that I was just hyping up so much against pistols that can then turn into rifles is a snowball effect, which plays Sampi back into a game which was beginning to evade them. Swarwick still on B. Does he want to be the hero? Or will he choose to wait for the rest of his team? There are flashes to refight this. He's effectively playing anti as he watches towards the ramp position instead, on towards the blue pillar. Again, an immediate trade, and Illuminar continue to trail.
One player low, and another on a Tech 9. They really needed to switch those guns over between Mangus and the Alive, and he pushes on out, and the 5-7 finds the second. Savannah tucked in the caves, or begins to hone in on his angle, and Ultimate is not missing a beat right now. It is 11 on the board now for the CT side, and you thought maybe, just maybe, that was Sampi's entry back in. Instead, the door slammed shut in front of their faces, and only a handful more to send Illuminar to playoffs.
It felt like that was Sampi's round. It really should have been, but the smokes run tired and thin towards spawn, and their chances may just have gone with it. Ultimate allowed this kind of run, and with 3 of the best, Sampi are made to pay. It is a hefty toll posted, and a loss on this round
Means that you've got barely any money into the last. PHR, the one under the microscope in middle this time. He's given a test, but passes it with flying colours. The Alive goes. Kazu introduced. Bomb drop bottom mid, and the players can't even follow up this push fully to an execute if they'd like. Split up completely all ends of the map.
Yeah.
And while this is happening, Furlan's there for the backstab. This could close the series.
It will. It so will. Everyone wants to be the hero now for Sampi. It's signs of desperation. And a calculated move from Furlan through main has just caused even more terror to Sampi's domain. A peek from Shelf. It's been spotted. Kazu knows now just to hold down the angle. 1v4 for a low HP Zedco. 12 will be found. And you can't help but think that it will be 13 soon to follow.
It feels like Sampi's Achilles heel, but seemingly only win condition is taking solo fights and hoping that they go your way, because they're so split up. Into that mid-round, again, you've got 3 players taking 3 different lanes, and by the time Illuminar have the numbers, it's easy enough for them to pick you off. I think this is the thing. As soon as you throw any kind of chaos Sampi's way, they just bend and break under that pressure, Ryan. There's no structure behind the initial ideas that they have. Sure, they're good individuals, and yeah, you could say they're able to create a performance from the first to the last player on the team sheet. It just takes too long. Zedco's going to wait this one out. The longer he waits, the more chance Spartak has to find cover. Simply just to save the AK, because that's what we've reached at this point in time. And for Illuminar, 1 away from a playoff stage. They failed to make it there before. Sampi, their first opponent, but the team that took the 2-2 game to take it that far previously is going to fall short at the final hurdle.
4 rounds in a row required. It's only 1 out of 4 needed now for Illuminar. Surely this is a game served on a silver platter. Sure, Fino quick towards middle, and his quickness delivers for an opener, but you can't help but think a 1-for-1 trade isn't even enough. It's a nice shot out of the rifle of Savannah for some space towards B, but the execute happening towards A. The bomb's been walked out into the middle of sight. Mangus has been spotted on the cross. The gun barrel spotted. And a wallbang headshot from Ultimate. He knows the calculations, lines it up, shuts things down, and it is game over. Illuminar, playoffs bound, 2-0 to 2-3. Sampi are eliminated.
And with the AWP leaving Fino's hands, Mangus may have been the heir to it, but the throne belongs to Ultimate. Illuminar take their top spot over Sampi in the end. They're able to win in the rematch, and just so many different factors at play that we've been harping on about for the last 3 series that we've followed Sampi from. The loss against NXT when they were up a map, completely, you know, washed out of play by Aurora Youngblood. And then into this one, again, it is another series where they played this opponent in a former CCT event. They beat them out 2-0, and again, they end up losing. It's another 2-2 game. They can't make it out of Swiss this time around, and just so much to think about if you're Sampi, because sure, on paper, it's a couple of losses on your record on HLTV, but at the same time, it just has another part to play in what has been a terrible week in the office for them. For Illuminar, things continue to get better. A 6th win in a row now. Only, you know, another map 1 for them. That's now 12 wins and only 3 lost in, you know, the last however many games that it is that they've played. It's brilliant scenes for this team, and for them to now find some form of their own and really gel with this lineup, even, you know, with the coach playing, for goodness sake, into this final map. Again, it just feels like it was Sampi's series to lose, and surprise, surprise, they've lost it again.
Yeah, and look, they'll get some decent experience against some better teams as well, right? Because obviously the way the playoff stage works, it's 8 invited teams play against the 8 teams from Swiss, right? So you're going to have some better opponents to play in round 1. If the confidence is there, if we're going to see the same Illuminar that we've just seen today, despite playing with a coach, despite losing a map, I feel like they really could have closed into it. Just felt like the second half was a bit flat. What's not to say that these guys go on a deep run, could earn themselves some CCT points. Think about the bigger picture as well for Illuminar. It would be a massive step in the right direction, but for now, it's baby steps. It's a win over Sampi, and it's another playoff secured for them.
Yeah, brilliant stuff from Illuminar. Of course, we still have plenty more games coming up for you all today. This one going the 3 maps, but of the 3 games, there's 2 more left. Zero Tenacity versus Eyeballers should be starting in about 20 minutes, half an hour, something of the sort. And to round out the day, Space versus Rare Atom, the Chinese team, trying to get the 1-up over the CIS squad to qualify for playoffs and take on some more esteemed teams. I'm really looking forward to the matches that we've got. In terms of favourites, I think, yeah, probably leaning a little bit more towards Eyeballers in that next game, and Rare Atom against a Space team which haven't really had too much form of their own. But again, statistics kind of go out the window when you're seeing the performances that we've got here. Form is everything, and Illuminar were on fire today.
Yes, definitely the case. The question is, will the 3 mappers continue through to our next game? Zero Tenacity Eyeballers up next. It's all the same stories for today, at least, Harry. You know, it's a split down the middle, the 2-2 games. Either some teams will qualify, some teams will be eliminated. It's the harsh reality. That is a Swiss system. If you can't close in 3, you are out. So, yeah, more action happening on your screens in about, I mean, what, half hour's time, Harry, I think? 20 minutes time? So, yeah. Not long until we get into the deep end for the second game of today. More Swiss system action on your screens. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.
You look into your inventory and there's only... It's time to forget about this garbage. Here you will find everything to play with really cool skins. Open top cases. Upgrade dropped skins and turn your junk into a cool gun using the contract system. Every day, thousands of people upgrade their inventory with us. Hellcase.com. Look at yourself in a new way.
Do you have any unnecessary skins or want to sell them? Try SkinPlace. Visit the website, select the skins you want to use. Easily fill your Steam trade link. Make sure we offer good prices and choose a payment method. Hit the button and boom, instant cash. Safety. Low commissions. Instant payouts. SkinPlace.
What's a super stream game? It's an extension that provides a valuable and engaging game within the stream you are watching. Join an active community and test your knowledge in a live race against expert chasers by answering trivia, prediction, and recall questions tailored to the content you are watching.